This is not a test. This is not a test. This is not a test. I don't know if you can hear. This is not a test. This is not a test. I don't know if you can hear me.
They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Alright, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and can will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have them present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questionings if you wish. Alright. You good, dude?
Whoa! You good, dudes? Good evening. Hello. It is December 16th, Tuesday, December 16th, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time in Dallas, Texas. Let me turn my phone to Do Not Disturb so I can say hi to everybody. Hi! Oh my goodness. Feels like a long time since I've seen you. Where have you all been? I can't wait to see you too, Southern. I've missed you guys. Southern Cats is in the house. Bellas, hey! You guys, some of you guys came over with Allegedly Speculating's chat earlier. I'm here and you need this tonight. You're solo after the... Oh, I'm so sorry, content. Try not to let all that stuff take you and make you bitter. Hannah, hello. Hi, sweetie pea. Don't let it make you bitter. True Crown Butterfly says, hi, everyone. Stop by to say hello. I'll be on replay. Salty's going live in a few. Lots of love. We love you, too. Thank you, True Crown Butterfly, for letting us know. And we will definitely throw Salty Sleuth's link in the chat tonight. Hi, Hannah. I hope everybody's been well. Get down here a little further. Jenny Jen, did I see you in here? If I missed you, hello. Nice to see you, darling. You good, dudes? Cindy. Why can't I see any of your names? Oh, there's Cindy. Hi, beautiful. It's so good to see you. Cindy, I'm so excited, is the proud owner of the very first True Crime Guardians hoodie. She got hers before I got mine. I'm grounded. Oh, no. Oh, no. You was feeding the puppies, Rubber? So nice to see you. It has been forever. I thought somebody said hi to Allegedly Speculating. If Allegedly Speculating is here, hello. Oh, there you are. Hello. Hello, girl. Yeah, I know. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So the next couple of days, I'll be doing the giveaway and sending some lucky True Crime Guardian the third hoodie, because I ordered mine, so that'll be the second one. And the third hoodie I will have and send to you. It might come after Christmas. It might be more towards a New Year's gift as opposed to Christmas. You missed. Oh, you didn't miss. Everybody's still here saying hi. So, oh, I was gonna say I have this little banner scrolling in the bottom, but I take that down because what we have here is well, the content that we're going to do tonight falls under fair use for the disclaimer, purposes of entertainment, criticism, commentary, and research purposes. And we're going to use the commentary, the interview from Criminally Obsessed, which I will drop links. But all of those links are in the description already for Criminally Obsessed. So if you want to go and check that out on their channel, you can. The hoodie's beautiful and great quality. I can't wait to give it to myself for Christmas. Oh, I'm so excited. That's so wonderful. Abellis wants to know what time we're supposed to be there since you're cooking and listening. Allegedly speculating. All right. Oh, let me take this down. Look. This is a podcast, elves. Isn't it the cutest thing ever? Look at them. They're even running a soundboard. I thought that was super cute. The podcast elves. Okay. You're making chicken Alfredo. Yum. Yum. One's a winky face. I thought he was super adorable. I haven't named them yet, so I'll leave that up to you guys. You can name them. Aren't they cute? I'm almost done, but just making chicken Alfredo, cleaning the kitchen and getting it set up. Don't you love the space? Yes, don't you love the space? Before I get to say it, before I forget to say it, and I do say it, Merry Christmas to you guys, and Happy New Year. If you don't hear it enough between now and Christmas, Merry Christmas, and, 'tis the season and all that good stuff. Aren't they cute, content? You guys got to name them. I love the amount of space that you have. It's great. So I saw something today, and I had to have it. I made it for. Oh my goodness, my dogs are barking in the background because they're happy. Abilis. Good Lord in the morning. I made something today, specifically Rubber Ramada, aka Sheila, and I. We were watching something this morning, and some of you may recognize her, and she just says the darndest thing. Hi, Corey. Welcome in. Welcome in. It's so good to see you. We were just kind of Elfie and Elfo. That sounds like twin cats. I had ceviche for dinner. Ceviche with avocado. Yes, and a little bit of Valentina. It was so good. Okay, Rubber, I'm going to play it. I'm so excited to play this. Melvin and Kelvin. Elfie and Elfo, Melvin and Kelvin. So I'm going to give the little tiny PSA. Trigger warning, if you don't like cussing, you might want to mute for the whole 15 seconds. This is hilarious.
This is a fucking commentary, critique, and opinion channel, motherfuckers. That means on this channel, I comment, critique, and give my opinion on what other motherfuckers are doing on YouTube. What part of that do some of you dumbass motherfuckers not get?
So that is my PSA for the day. Corey, everybody's so glad to see you. I'm so glad to see you over here. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Mac and Jack. I love that. Oh, you love cussing? Wasn't that funny? Oh, goodness. I made it today. I may change some of the graphics a little bit. I uploaded it to Rubber's channel because she's going to have to play it often. Hi, Kim. So good to see you. Mac and Cheese. Cheese has got to be the one with the winky eye because he thinks he's all that. I think they're brothers or twins, maybe, because they're definitely looking the same. They have a likeness. They even have the same colored eyes. So we'll do the PSA one more time, and then we'll get started with what we're talking about today. Yeah, make sure you don't get lost in top chat. If it's at the top, it'll say live chat, so just switch it over. Switch it over.
This is a fucking commentary, critique, and opinion channel, motherfuckers. That means on this channel, I comment, critique, and give my opinion on what other motherfuckers are doing on YouTube. What part of that do some of you dumbass motherfuckers not get?
For anybody who doesn't know, that's locked and loaded. Rubber, if you're in here, would you please drop her channel so everybody else can partake in her festivities? Yes, Corey. Yes, Corey. Oh, my goodness. What have you guys been doing while I've been absent? Let me tell you what happened. So the last time we were together, yeah, make sure you change it from top messages to all messages. And that way you see all of the important people. I don't even see Susan, is that her? Yeah, that's right. She said that today too. Someone told me to check mid-chat for a laugh during the live. I am so sorry. My squirrel brain forgot until a few minutes ago. I'm going to check it when we eat. I'm sorry. No, I definitely want to him in the elephant. I definitely want to go over her and a couple of other things, but I'd like to do that in a non, when we're not going over somebody as serious as Rebecca Park. But dang, she was funny. She was singing. How did you get in the elf hut? Her elf hut is inside of her oven or inside of her new washer. He's sitting in there. Kim said, how'd you manage that, Abellis? You got connections. You guys are amazing. Okay, let me pull this up before I forget what we're doing tonight. Oh, yeah, I was going to tell you what happened. So I did talk to, I've never heard of mid chat either. I think mod chat means mod chat in Discord, I think. I think that's what she means. So I went to YouTube and asked them to help me figure out why my friends were getting their money refunded for all of the gifts that they were giving to the other guardians. And I know, me too. Humor in the chaos. Humor in the chaos, definitely. Mod chat, yeah, she can't type in mod chat now. She can't type with the nails. But anyway, so basically what was happening was they were refunding back gifted memberships that Rocco the pup gave me, and then it looked like a couple of other ones. So they ran me through a couple of different scenarios. I did that. I did let them know that I was still having trouble during the live seeing who was getting the gifted memberships. They reassured me to check the studio. They taught me a couple of different things. I reset the cache and all of the cookies. I moved to Singapore to get a better connection, all the kind of things that you need to do to make sure that everything is okay. So we are running this tonight on the premise that that is fixed. So I am hoping that that is the case, and I'm super excited to be back with you guys. It was kind of disheartening a little bit because I did move to Singapore, so I need to get a better, a better signal. Just try staples on her nails. Apellis. What? So we're hoping that is okay. So tonight we're going to actually hear from the Cindy. That was not a dry bag, love. That was not a dry bag, my love. I appreciate you more than you will ever know, but that was not a dry bag. Thank you, Cindy, for the gifted 5 True Crime Guardian memberships. As always, you are such an asset to the channel, and I really, really thank you a lot, Cindy. Thank you. And it looks like I can actually see who those went to. I'm super excited about that. Let me move these emojis out of the way. SPR, Super Sweet 174, Pegs Row, Witchy Woman 57, Ali Buffarelli Silvercrest 79. What a name. What a name. And Generu 8527. Thank you so very much, Cindy. It was amazing of you. Oh, Ali's here. Ali Buffarelli Silvercrest. I love the name. It's super cute. Your brain isn't working well. It's fucking cold outside, and now your brain is frozen. Get up under this blanket, girl. Get up under this blanket. You got it now? HDMI cord? Cindy, you're an amazing friend. Thank you so much. Get up under these covers. Oh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no wonder I can't. Oh, it's not an HDMI cord. I can't testing. Testing. I love you, Hannah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hannah, for the gifted 10 True Crime Guardian memberships. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited that we can see them. You know what happens? I think that Bellis breaks the chat. Yeah, thanks, Hannah, for showing off. Thank you so much. Amber's going down the rabbit hole. Big JJ, not the little one. Terry Lynn Sexton, Laurel, Doc Geo Sprout. Heathen got one. Anything for Salinas. Oh, rest in peace, Abraham Quintanilla, who is now up in heaven with his daughter. Explore Core, who I met in another chat, amazing human being. 555 Dallin and Traveling in Teresa. I love that. I love that so much. Thank you so much. Oh, let me say proper thank you. Yeah. Let's go eat a pizza and then I'll thank you. Thank you so very much, Hannah. I really do appreciate you. Love you too. Hannah was showing off. Hannah rocks. Rocks. That's what your son uses? Abraham! Welcome to the party. Merry Christmas, Abraham. I hope everything is going well in your neighborhood. Hope everything is going well. Content Angel. I know, I hope it works. I've been getting really anxious and didn't want to go live until they fixed that because I didn't want to lose the confidence that I had. Abraham in the elf hut. What's up? Testing. Bellas, thank you. Oh my gosh. You can't delete your typo. Gifted 20 True Crime Guardian memberships. Thank you so much, Bellas. You know I love your face so much. While I scroll back up to see who got those, let me give a PSA for everybody just now coming in.
This is a fucking commentary, critique, and opinion channel, motherfuckers. That means on this channel, I comment, critique, and give my opinion on what other motherfuckers are doing on YouTube. What part of that do some of you dumbass motherfuckers not get?
Thank you very much. Locked and loaded for that. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. Okay, Amber. Thank you, Amber. Josephine Santomauro. Rory. Holly Jolly. That bitch over there, a.k.a. Charming Jenna from Elevated Truths channel, who deleted his channel yesterday after his wife was doxxed by the alleged green team. Sorry, Truth. Hopefully you'll be back. But Charming Jenna, so glad to have you here. Content Angel received a gift membership. Kane's Nana, K Swan, Anders. Oh my gosh, I am not Golden Har. Tammy Mayfield. Randy says HDMI cord is what connects like a PS5 into a TV. Ethernet's like a phone line. Ah, okay. Thursday's Child. Angie, KBM. Peekaboo. Peekaboo got one, also known as a fantastic mod in Nonsense on the Web's channel. And also, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Down the Rabbit Hole News. Fantastic human being as well. Kalisa got one. Forrest Nelson got one. Yay. Vipren. And a Vipren is also a mod for, well, The Thing Is, also known as Eddie. Tracy Dale, Cindy Lean, Angel Baby. You guys are amazing. You guys are so amazing. Thank you very, very much. That means the world to me. I really appreciate that. I didn't know what I was going to get my little children for Christmas had you guys not come in and gifted all them memberships. I bet this is showing off. Thank you. My little children will be very happy now. I like hearing you guys read the names when you're on your channel too. Rubber, you are doing the damn thing, doing some late night drama. Yes, they are amazing. Thank you so much. Allegedly Speculated. I'm so glad you're here hanging out with us. I appreciate you very much, Abellis. It gives your PC the best internet connection. Okay. Peekaboo. The woman is my spirit animal. Mustang, it is so good to see you as well. It is so good to see you. We don't have a phone line. Oh. I am definitely hardwired in. Hardwired in. You can get one free of charge, usually from your internet provider. You can get one from Walmart. Y'all, Rainey is the salesman. Kim, you are the salesman. Fucking bitches. Fucking with this old lady. Shake my head. There behind a little of Doxes. That's where she's involved in mine too. Girl, don't get me started. We could do it all day. We could do it all day. Your brain is slowly falling out. You can get under this blankie, I promise. Yeah, y'all have to take that swear jar over there to allegedly speculating's channel, because over here we would be getting rich. Getting rich. Hello, everybody just getting in. Yo, she mods for the rabbit. Yes, yes. Down the rabbit hole's good. It's a good channel. I like her. In my opinion, each to their own. I happen to like her. I like her background in social services. Robbie, you're recording the fucking numpty trollop tonight. I hope so, because we're going to miss the action by doing something important like real true crime. Eventually we'll get there. Awesome background. Oh, I know. Let me move this out of the way. We've named them a whole bunch of different names. But Mac looks like the guy on the right, and Cheese is the one on the left because he's cheesing it up with that eye. Mac and Cheese. You used to sell pure romance products. Well, hubba hubba. And a Waffle House. Now, we're going to have to talk after the show, Kim. Those are two different things entirely. Hannah's recording chats delete as I sit here. Oh, girl. You have to let us know how it goes. Swear bell is almost full. You're going to have to empty it several times. You're going to have to empty it several times. You're going to have to use it for our... for when we hang out this coming up spring. It'll be our drinking money. You gonna review that shit later? Good. Pete and repeat. I love it. I freaking love it. Wait, Waffle House and pure romance. Girl, pay attention. Pure romance. I'll tell you about it later. If you don't know, we'll talk about it later. Google it, but don't post that. Pure romance, girl. And into so much trouble handing out my pure romance business cards to customers. What did Cindy do? Pete and repeat, yeah. So yeah, I put up a poll the other day and asked everybody what kind of intro I should do. So I just decided to take everybody's advice and kind of just do what felt right. We always get into the true crime stuff. So it usually takes 5 or 6 minutes just to get into my intro after the music. And I've been putting timestamps so that people knows. And exactly, Ramada, you do that. Most people in here know what you're talking about. If you don't know, get you one or 12. So got a box of products. If anybody needs Christmas presents, y'all reach out to Kim. Oh Lord, in the morning. We do like to chit chat, and I don't know I don't know what it is, but you guys just bring out the good mood in me. The much needed good mood. Oh my goodness. Oh, I was going to show you before I forget. We'll do a PSA one more time, then we'll get back into chat. This is my other background. This is the one we're not using tonight. I think he stole the Christmas presents from the White House. Don't get me wrong. I don't know that to be true. I'm not sure if he's delivering or if he's picking up. I can only make an assumption that somebody has been naughty and they're picking up the motherfucking presents out of the White House. Speaking of Jenna, hi Jenna, I hope you're doing well today. I've been thinking about you, and I've been thinking about you guys for a couple of days, so I hope you're doing well over there. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for being a part of the channel. It's hard to get to live stream chat some days, but when we get here, it's a bang. I know the two women that are taking credit for finding Rebecca didn't find her. Her biological dad and his son found her. Patricia, thank you very much for that information. I'm not saying that that isn't true. I did see a couple of different things on that, but what we're going to do is we're going to review the commentary that they had, the interview that Criminally Obsessed did, that Anne did with them, and hopefully everybody will be able to do their own research and make their own conclusions. I really appreciate that ahead of time, though. That means a lot to me that you came in and let us know. You got some samples too? Tony, hi! How are you? Your smile could light up a room, girl. He doesn't deliver, he steals them, no matter who you are. You're rotten, Mr. Grinch. I'm glad you're good. I'm glad to hear it. We did just say that we were thinking about you and thinking about Truth, of course. Hi, so nice to meet you. That bish, you're welcome. You're not home, you're on the road, so you can actually chat. I'm so glad you're here. Tony in the Elf Hut. What's up, what's up? Hi, everybody, getting in. That bitch is charming. Yeah, she is charming. We like her. Promise not stalking you. We just keep ending up in the same place. I'm glad for it. I'm glad for it. I'm glad to see you on these streets. Witchy woman. Okay, don't get mad at me for freaking singing. I didn't call you by an outside name, but Witchy woman's a beautiful name. Number 15. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Jen, these are my peeps. Glad you're here. We're glad you're here. Oh, you guys are amazing for saying thank you. Got Grinch socks from Grinch McDonald's Mill. They're killer. I had no idea. Sorry. Hi, Charming. Sorry about what happened. I watch DRO. Girl, take them nails off. Take them nails off. We watch Truth in the Bushes. We all watch Truth in the Bushes. We all watch Truth in the Bushes. Hopefully he'll be back. If you doxed my family, I probably would walk away from this internet too. From the bushes. If you doxed my fucking family out, I'd walk away too. No amount of money would put that in front of my loved ones. You just don't need it. Told you to wear Staples. The McGrinch meal sold out before I could get one. I didn't even know there was a thing. Is that McDonald's? McGrinch, McDonald's, yeah. Hey, Edith, ¿cómo estás? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're feeling well. I hope you're feeling well. All right, let's go back to our Elvies. Wasn't too sure about the pickle salt. Ew. Jenny Dan, welcome back. And Ethan, the igloo. It's okay. It comes with the territory. He's okay. He's done what he said he would do. He did. He sure as hell did. He came on here and said if they doxed his family out, he was fine. I mean, he chose to say what he said, did what he did, and walked away when he said he would. So, much respect. Much respect. I'm glad you're well. Abellis, I just heard about through brunch meals at McDonald's. I would have gotten the socks. Don't eat the poison food, though. Girl, I had a friend who put one of them double cheeseburgers, and Mom told me about this also like a couple weeks ago, but she put a double cheeseburger up on the shelf for a year, and it didn't do nothing. It stayed exactly the same. Don't put that in your body if you don't have to. I mean, if you're starving to death, I suppose. Come on over here. I'll make you a hamburger. We as Southern people here in Texas, I'll make you a good hamburger. Is it okay to do that? Allegedly speculating, call myself a Southern people? Much respect to Truth. Yeah. You know, in my family, they got nasty skeletons in their closet. I'll tell you the ones I know. Kim. You're freaking hilarious, honey. So as for what was the name? Was that Patricia? Patricia? Scroll back up here, make sure. Yeah, as Patricia Mann said, it is a possibility that some of the facts, quote unquote, some of the things that you're hearing tonight may not be facts, as opposed to people who have been on video and given their opinion. So everything that you see tonight, just take it as a grain of salt, okay? That's what you got to do. Yeah, you want one. Don't tell anybody. I won't tell anybody. I am Southern. Real Southern. I am. I'm in Dallas. I'm a little north of Dallas, to be honest with you. But I was born and raised here. I've been to a couple of other states, but I sure do like it here. You're high as fuck right now. Thank you, Kim. They did that with the nuggets in a 5-gallon bucket of water. 5 years later, layer of pink mold on top of water was removed. Under that, nothing changes. Nuggets were exactly the same. Oh, girl. Girl, you'll take one radioactive burger. Oh my goodness. Okay. This before we get shunned. So you need your smoke. I'm gonna smoke vicariously through you. Everybody who doesn't partake, enjoy it through Rainy. Roll them up, smoke them if you got them. We'll smoke through you. If you do smoke, enjoy it. If you have your coffee, your soda, your Red Bull, whatever it is that you partake in, no judgment here. No judgment here. Anyway, we're going to hear tonight from the people who went out in the woods, allegedly, and found Rebecca, allegedly. They're going to sit down on camera and talk about, with Ann T. Emerson from Criminally Obsessed, how they went through the search. I'm just going to play it in chunks, of course, pause, really listen to what they say about the search. You guys went over the probable cause affidavit with me about that day and about what the parents, the bio mother and the stepfather are saying, and how they're saying it felt to find her, allegedly. And then we can compare that with some of the other things that we've seen in the probable cause affidavit and with the official timeline. Everyone that's in this case obviously is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. We're reacting to an interview, so we're not doxing or contacting people, tagging them. We're not going to bring them hate. None of that. Trigger warning, though. The discussion in this case is very graphic for the most part. The case itself is very graphic. So, this is about finding a deceased 38-week pregnant woman in the woods with her baby cut out of her womb. So I'd absolutely love to have your reactions in chat. I want to know how this makes you guys feel versus, what the documents say, where you guys see the red flags and what you see happening through the interview as well. Yes, trigger warning. Thank you. Girl. All right, let me pull this up over here. Again, thank you, Patricia Mann, for the advice. Oh, before I forget, I did a poll. I've asked if anybody has seen this interview with the searchers yet. Now, I know that in this chat and up on my hey, Kane's Nana. Sorry, anybody just coming in if I miss you. I'm sort of in this one-track mind thing after I get off of the saying hi's because you guys are amazing and I just want to sit here and talk to you all night long. But it is so nice to see you, always making it rain, and you look so good in green. So I'm very, very happy that you're here. Thank you very much, Patricia. I appreciate that. Patricia, just purely for clarification purposes for me, are you friends of the family, or are you just a sleuther, or where do you get your where are you getting your facts from? Just curiously, I'm super curious. Goodness gracious, I'm so sorry, Kim. It's so sad. I'm so sorry. Were you the one who streamed the hearing where the DA called Courtney evil personified? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It was sad because we're sitting here looking at the DA talking, but you can see the family in the background react to that, and that about gutted me. About gutted me. Happy partner. The DA in court called her and her man evil personified. Yes. Steps outside to smoke so I can't type for a minute. Okay, yes. No problem. Yep. I agree with that. I agree with that. Anybody that can do that to an unborn child, to anybody's child, to their own child, even if you didn't raise them, you gave them away to be adopted out. And then ended up taking their life out of alleged jealousy. Sorry, I didn't feel like blowing my nose on the stream. It's probably rude. So 83% of you say that you haven't heard this interview yet. So I'm going to go ahead and end that poll. And I appreciate everybody that participated in that. Out of 24 votes, most of you have not seen this yet. I only miss cigarette smoking when it's cold outside. Isn't that strange? I haven't smoked Marlboros for years, and when it's cold, give me one. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I agree. Allegedly, like that's your blood too. Like no matter who the dad is, the mom is your daughter, biological daughter. Her blood is running through that baby's veins. If you still got your mama, make sure to call and say I love you every day. You never know when the phone call is going to come. Yes, Kim, thank you so much. What a great reminder. Rebecca's dad is my first cousin. Okay, Patricia, thank you very much. We did identify her dad, but we've kind of been staying away from that a little bit because he hasn't been in the spotlight a whole lot. So we've just kind of been staying with the facts that we've got in the case or what we can see in front of us. And so I really appreciate your point of view. Thank you so much for that. They are evil. They are evil. I put pen to paper and thought about writing down, I wrote from the beginning of what we heard to where we are at now. And I still can't wrap my brain around the facts of the night, the graphic depravity of the night. In a mental breakdown, almost trying to birth 7 puppies. Can't imagine this nut job doing this to her child. Yeah, Rubber, you sure did. Poor sweet thing. I think Patricia said she's cousins of Rebecca Park. Thank you. I must have missed that somewhere before. Thank you so much. I think Vinnie Politan guest said Courtney had designs on stealing Rebecca's bio sister's baby too a few years ago. Did he really? I have not watched that. We'll probably have to look that up. Jeez. Her dad will never be the same after seeing her like that. I can't imagine. Wonder why he specifically chose that location. Was it based on the little like things like the TikToks that we saw where she basically was like, "Oh no, it's over here," where Courtney was like, "Oh no, it's behind the house over here." Kind of gave it away. Wonder if he chose that area to search for that reason. I most certainly would have saw a red flag there, I think. True, Kim, your mom is 90. Bless her heart. Nanny's going to be 94 in April, and Grandma's going to be 87 in July. My mama's in her 60s. But my dad has had triple bypass surgery this year. So, yeah, I'm on your side on that one. Courtney is your ex-cousin-in-law. You never knew Courtney or the family? Okay. They were never married. Understood. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, thanks for the data. I really appreciate that. All right, let me pull this up here. Boop, 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 doop. It is so cold. It's going to be 71, a whole 71 here. That's by the end of the week, though, so I don't know why I'm bitching. So I personally have not seen this either. So we're going to react to everything as we go. We're chismosas. We are chismosas. Debemos de meter todas las manos en todas las cosas para saber todas las respuestas. My mom is 63, way too young, but her stubborn ass wouldn't go to the doctor. She had flu that developed into pneumonia, and she passed in her sleep. My mom is around 90. Oh, Kim. I am so sorry, love. Yeah, my mom is 62 and her mama is 93. I can't imagine her losing her daughter before she passed herself. That would just kill her. Gossips. Hola! Nosy ass gossips. Today is the second Christmas without your Nan. Yes. Yes. She passed Boxing Day, December 26th. She was 88 when she passed. Her dad just connected with her in 2023. He had to find her because she was adopted out. Right, right. All right, one more time for the cheap seats in the back. I'm going to give the PSA and then I'll run this banner real quick. The content is going to fall under fair use because we're going to pause and we're going to add commentary. This is for the purposes of entertainment, criticism, commentary, research purposes. All the opinions on this channel that I say out loud with my voice are mine and mine alone. All the opinions that you type in chat are yours and you are responsible. I'm not going to get in trouble for you running your mouth, but you aren't going to get in trouble by me for running your mouth. So do what you do.
This is a fucking commentary, critique, and opinion channel, motherfuckers. That means on this channel, I comment, critique, and give my opinion on what other motherfuckers are doing on YouTube. What part of that do some of you dumbass motherfuckers not get?
There we go. That is the best clip. Hi, Norma. Welcome in, Sweet Pea. Yep, y'all do you, boo. Do you, boo. And this is a trigger warning. Please remember the context of what we got going on. I'm going to be back in the back. And Jenny is supervising the daycare. Oh, Hannah, you know I love you so much. I'm sorry, but you know you got lots of arms going around you. Lots of hugs, okay? Courtney has already implicated herself in some true crime YouTube live channel. Yeah, apparently. Apparently. I've been trying to look. I want to go like over some more of that, but I had been MIA, so yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine. Kim. Oh. All right, Sweet Pea. Let's get back to what we're doing here. This is y'all in the chat right now. Hell. Hot Mess Express. Look at how she's peeking out of the back over there, over the top of that pan. It's too funny. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You saw that with her before she got arrested. Yeah, I saw a few on TikTok. But much like Reddit and TikTok and Facebook and all of those things like we did the other day, you just kind of have to take it with a grain of salt and hope for the best, just like this right here. All right, let's get started, guys. Let me put up, Oh, the subtitles aren't on. Why? It might be up later. All right.
Something just pulled us to go out after like 2 weeks of listening and listening and listening. Something just pulled us out there to go out there. And honestly, we didn't think we were going to find somebody, her, because everybody had already looked, supposedly, like several times. So
you were meant to find her.
Yeah, content. These are the two women that we saw in the video. If you remember the other YouTube video, has everybody seen that? It's the one we played the last time that we were together, I believe. Oh my goodness. I went to go search my YouTube channel and I saw a Grinch in a hat. I saw a Grinch in a hat. You see? There's a Grinch in a hat. All right, sorry. I went to go check out that other one and see what that's called on my channel. So if you guys have not seen it, you can watch it. It's like 12 and a half minutes, and it is these two girls, definitely these two girls, talking about how they found her. Let me see what you said. No, don't be sorry. This is the one that we put up on the channel. Guard your sanity on this. The way this lady's crying right here just hurts my heart.
And we knew it. We did. We knew it.
it's so far down there.
Like it's almost
we walked all the way
like this, and
there's mud. You gotta go past. You gotta go way past. Way past. Literally, I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you.
So there she is, the one.
I'm telling you, they literally got out of their car
and dumped her body.
They drug her about 15 feet. They lifted up black dirt. They moved all the leaves. I can tell you exactly what it was. Nobody wanted to go up to it, so I have to because it looked like Halloween.
I did.
And
That's
so,
why I said
but when I first walked
can't.
up to it, the young boy said, "There's a blue card. Do you see the blue card?" I said, "I see the blue card."
He said, "Do you see the mask?
Do you see the mask?" I said, "I do."
Every time we watch this, I catch something else. Do you see the blue card? See, the very first time I didn't get that. They just really brought up that blue card out of the middle of nowhere. That planted debit card or PayPal card.
But I'm going to walk up to it. I'm a good person. I know I'm legit. I can do this. I'm going to walk up to it. And yes, the animals have ate at her cheeks, but her face is all there. The animals.
Because it's so cold.
And her stomach. And their stomach's gutted.
So the baby's not there.
I don't think so. I got this close. I mean, it's her stuff's coming. It's.
And there's the two of them together. So we can clearly see these are the two that are claiming that they found Rebecca Parks the day that her body was discovered. And there they are. Apparently. It's disgusting what some people would do and say for 15 minutes of fame. They could have did what I did. Go on a daytime talk show. That's what you could do. I wouldn't do that, but that's just me.
Obviously.
A couple of armchair detectives were so invested in the case of a missing Michigan woman and so frustrated that no one had found her yet that they decided to go search for her themselves. I'm Emerson, an investigative reporter with 30 years of experience. I've been on a lot of searches for missing people, big, small, all kinds of terrain, but I've never been there when searchers ever found someone.
We're just two strong, independent women, and maybe that's why we were the ones to be pushed out there to have to do this.
Before we get started, please be sure to like and subscribe to Criminally Obsessed.
Encyclopedia, would you please make sure that you drop Criminally Obsessed YouTube channel in here as well? I have the description box that has their X account, which is where I got this video from, but it looks like that's a YouTube channel as well. So if you would, please. My brother recently came upon a poor soul deceased on the side of the road. He called the authorities, but he ain't on the news. Yeah, because yeah. We wouldn't have anything to talk about if they didn't go to the news, though, would we? I don't know if anyone has come across or found a unalive person, but your brain won't let you stick around. It forces you to be grossed out and then leave quickly. That's the built-in response. Yeah, if you're not super desensitized. Agreed. The ones that pulled her there was Rebecca's dad, and this makes me say Courtney knew she was there. That's why the area was searched again. The ones that pulled her there? Your cousin found the card? Thanks, Rubber. I appreciate you.
So you don't miss any of these exclusive interviews. I want to warn you, I have graphic details from the women who found Rebecca Park's body. Courtney and Amy found the mutilated body of Rebecca Park partially covered by some leaves and sticks. But even though she'd been missing for 3 weeks, they said there were things that led them to believe that she hadn't been where they found her.
Thank you, Content. I appreciate that.
There's no way.
There's no way.
There was leaves still falling. There wouldn't have been them drag marks on the road.
We'll get into that in a minute. But first, I want to give you a little background from court documents about this case. It may be one of the craziest affidavits I've ever read. Between the relationship, the lies, the finger pointing, and it makes it really hard to follow because of that. Police arrested Courtney and Bradley Bartholomew for Rebecca's murder. Courtney is Rebecca's birth mother, and Bradley is her stepfather. Investigators spoke to the Bartholomews multiple times, using what one said to get information from the other. Courtney told police that Rebecca's fiance was abusive and that she encouraged Rebecca to leave him, making Richard Failer seem suspicious. She said she gave Rebecca $2,000 in cash and told Richard about it. I guess police didn't believe her because they asked her point blank if she had anything to do with Rebecca's disappearance. She said, quote, "Why the F would I do that? I'd never hurt my daughter." So police then interviewed Bradley.
Thank you very much for that, Rubber. Because I am the Mrs. Kravitz of our bunch. I want to know what that tattoo is on her forehead. Just curious. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. She seems like she's done a really good job at explaining so far, right? I like the breakdown. I'm going to pin this up at the top for anybody that wants to. If you guys would do me a favor, just politely, a much, much bigger channel than I am, but still go and leave her a like on this video and subscribe if you feel like doing so, please. I would appreciate that. Her dad didn't want to go to the body because he was afraid of destroying any evidence. That's why they went and got the searchers. Yeah, that seems pretty normal in my opinion. Yeah, she does look evil. Thank you very much. They pulled the searchers there. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Bradley first tries to pin it on Courtney and Richard, and also told police that Kimberly, Rebecca's sister, wanted her out of the picture. He was casting doubt on everyone but himself, which of course is a red flag. He then tells police that Courtney is obsessed with having a baby. Bradley also told police that Courtney kept scalpels next to her bed, and he believed that she was capable of slicing her own flesh and blood and taking that baby out.
Which we know also from reading the probable cause affidavit that the reason that we were told that she kept scalpels by the bed was so that she could lance her cellulitis. Yep. We went over the probable cause affidavit together, so if anybody wants to read that, that'll be here. You're welcome to go back and watch that live and come back to this one if you'd like to.
He also told police that he expected Courtney to point the finger at him. So police go back to Courtney, and she wants to know if Bradley confessed and whether or not he can hear what she's saying. She asked for immunity and witness protection, and she said if she got it, she would tell them where the knife and the baby were. The police told her that they couldn't do that. Only a prosecutor could. She goes on to tell them Bradley did it. She said that Bradley slit Rebecca's throat, and it was a revenge killing. Police go back to Bradley and confront him with Courtney's story. He says Courtney did it because she wanted Rebecca's baby for herself. He said she grabbed the knife, stabbed Rebecca, told her to lay down on the ground, and then cut the baby out while Rebecca was still alive. But the baby wasn't breathing, and Courtney tried to revive it. When Courtney was confronted with Bradley's final version of events, police say she admitted to cutting the baby out of Rebecca in order to, quote,
So it's pretty graphic at the end of the probable cause affidavit. So when she did admit to doing it, I do remember that we talked about it a little bit. It was so graphic that she said that he was at the top of Rebecca with his hand around her neck, holding a knife to her throat. And she was telling her to lay back so that she was able to cut that baby out. And she was telling her that her baby was going to die. And allegedly, Rebecca's response was, at least save my baby, which we'll never know if that's true or not. We'll never know if that's true or not.
Save the baby and take it to Rich. Courtney said Rebecca was still conscious when she cut the baby out of her and told her to lay back or the baby was going to die. When asked if Rebecca could ever survive the wounds from removing the baby, Courtney said, no, probably not. She said they left Kimberly, Rebecca's sister's card at the scene to try and frame her. I know, it's a lot.
And then we learned through the probable cause affidavit that it wasn't actually Kimberly's card, even though she said that she would have to get a new one because she lost the card. It factually it belonged to somebody else. Yes, she was. She's out on bail with Richie Fayler, but yeah.
Just gave you the highlights of the 18-page affidavit. And back to the two women who found Rebecca's body. They were with her for about 25 minutes before police could get to the scene. You can only imagine what that must have felt like. What compelled you to go out there? Was it because you just felt like they needed some help?
So before we get that answer from them, with her saying that they spent 25 minutes out there with the body, especially in the condition that we saw them describe her in, how do you guys feel about that? Would you have been able to sit there 25 minutes with the body? Right, that's what we believe happened as well, from what we've gathered. Right, Patricia, thank you. I think it's strange as well. Then your body, like you said, comes up with a natural, fight or flight type reaction. Hey, Andy, welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, me either. Me either. Yeah. We saw Kimberly, her arraignment and her bail conditions. And then Richie Fayler, they said that they posted his jail conditions, his release conditions. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. His release conditions, but they didn't actually have a hearing that we were able to see. But I do have a Patreon, and you're welcome to go and check out that paperwork over there if you like. The documents are there as well. Yeah, I couldn't sit over there. Even if it's someone you love, you do not stick around. I'm speaking from experience. I believe you. Yeah. I agree. My personal experience is also the same. I wouldn't have stuck around. No, I wouldn't have been able to stick around mentally. I just wouldn't have been able to do that. I'm not sure why it took the cops so long to get there. Maybe because of the area. Maybe it's such a rural area. I'm not 100% certain. I mean, we only know that they said they called the cops right away, right? So without actually being there, it's really hard to tell what the factual timeline would have been. But, you know, what she's saying is that it took her 25 minutes. You wouldn't have wanted to leave her alone again? Well, you're a different kind of uh, thought process there out of the rest of us. Not that that's bad or anything. I mean, you see it from a different way. I can see it from that perspective, but to me, the damage was done, and to sit there and get the visual for 25 or 30 minutes and watching and just imagining what happened to her while I'm sitting there in the area. And I would, like another subset, I'd be really scared to mess up discovery or evidence that was out there.
What had us honestly go out there was because they were saying they couldn't walk through the
marshy area.
The marshy area. They said they couldn't, and we were seeing their clothing they had on through the live, and so we just figured, you know what, we got some boots. Let's go out there, and we don't mind walking through the woods or whatever.
And it was time to find this young woman, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was definitely time. We had been watching it every day. It was kind of consuming us as it has consumed us since.
And tell me, Courtney, Amy, where do y'all live?
We live in Irons, Michigan, 49 minutes away or 39 minutes away from where Rebecca was.
Yeah.
And this area, can you tell me, like, the area that you went to go help search for Rebecca? What was it like? What was the weather like? What was the day like?
Well, when we first started searching, it was beautiful out. You could see the carpet of the beautiful yellow and red and light brown leaves on the ground.
Thank you for that advice content. That's a very good point. Yeah, make sure that you advocate for your victims' rights as well. You're obviously affected, Patricia, and you don't. I mean, we're people online that have never met the family, don't know anything about them, and we're affected. We're not victims. We're not victims' families, but we are affected. And so, for you to be directly involved through line of the family, you are affected. So you should definitely advocate for your victims' rights, and at least, you know, sign up for Vine and go through the process of making sure that you're protected as well. You know, you had that feeling from the beginning about her wanting another baby, wanting to take her baby. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, even if you only feel angry at Courtney, it's still being affected. Yeah, and you feel sorry. I mean, you know your cousins with the father. I mean, the biological father who had just found his daughter. I mean, it's devastating for families to go through that. So yeah, and if you need anything from us, just let us know. If you need any help finding an avenue to get that done, you just let us know. And my email is in my description on my channel if you need it.
There was no snow when we first started searching, and when we found her, there was no snow. It was
a regular fall day.
Regular fall day.
Just a regular fall day.
Yes, and by the time we got out of the woods from identifying her, it started snowing by the time we got out of the woods.
It was just a very hard place to get to, because you're saying it's the marshes, and this other search party was having a hard time getting in there.
It's a road, and then the road, that's a dirt road, and kind of like a dirt road, but then it turns into a 2-track, like a snowmobile trail or a 4-wheeler trail.
So we don't have snowmobile trails or 4-wheeler trails a whole lot here where I live in the city, obviously, and any back roads that we have. I've never seen a 2-track road in person myself. I've seen a road, and then I've seen a trail, where you can go down. So hearing about what a 2-track road was, we're basically knowing that you're supposed to go on a trail with a car on one and with whatever ATV or all-terrain vehicle you have in the other track was new for me. I did not know that. It's weird, but it's weird. I didn't even. And Abella said, "Call me cray cray, but why not wait until the baby was born and then take it?" So there was a couple of different things. I didn't see what they had on court TV, but there was a couple of different things that we ran into while we were reading through the arraignments and the affidavits. Was that it was thought that maybe, possibly, Richard Failer was not the father, and that maybe Rebecca had an intimate relationship with Bradley. And so if they had access to the baby, then somebody would have been able to do a DNA test and figure out a parent test and figure out who the father was. So that was part of what was mentioned. And it was also mentioned that Courtney had a story that she had told her friend Candace previously, that she had been pregnant and that her baby had gone to the NICU and that she was waiting for that baby to come home. So it looked like maybe a plan to steal the baby. Now, I don't know how that would have gone from the beginning. Like, how would they have stole the baby from Rebecca and not killed her? I don't know. I don't know that they would have been able to. But then she wrote back and told her friend that the baby had passed away in the NICU and that she would not be bringing her baby home. So there's a couple of different theories, right? Do not think like because Abellis doesn't think like our murderer. That's true. I'm mad at all of them that was involved. Courtney was the ringleader. I can see her being of the manipulative type, the way that she was speaking to everybody the night before when the searchers were there. The way she was speaking was quite damaging. Yeah. Nobody ever accused criminals of being smart. That's so true. Yeah, you're validated. You're validated. Oh, yes. Well, my goodness. Is it your birthday? Happy birthday, Indy. Thank you very much for letting me know. Let me see if I can find a birthday song. I bet it's in here somewhere.
Happy birthday, whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo. May your day be pleasant, open up your present just for you, just for you. Happy birthday, whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo. May your day be pleasant, open up your presents just for you. Happy birthday, Indy. Sí. Feliz cumpleaños. Feliz cumpleaños, bella. Ay, amor mío, ¿por qué no me dijiste? Ya aún tienes 21. Ya aún tienes 21. 22. 22. 21, 21st birthday, 22. Gracias a usted. Oh, FYI, Top Chat does not like Indy. You will not see Indy in Top Chat. Happy birthday, girlfriend. Oh, very good. So nice to see you, Indy. Thank you so very much for sharing that with us. Thanks to Bellas for ratting her out. Happy birthday, Indy. No llores, niña. You can't be crying. I'm going to push that cake and put it in your face. Estilo mexicano. Oh, girl. All right. Let's keep going.
And then it goes back to road.
We never ended up going to the marsh.
Tell me how you found Rebecca. Tell me what happened.
Hi,
when
Orange.
You found. Take me through it.
Basically, me and my wife, we were searching for about an hour. We were looking around, walking around.
You found Rebecca. Tell me what happened when you found. Take me through it.
Anybody have any idea what the tattoo is? Right. Orange Rose, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Does anybody know what her tattoo is? Let's see if it tells us. Let's see. I can't tell what it is. I mean, I can't tell from this picture for sure. Don't tattoo your face, ladies. No, you don't like the idea of the face tattoos? I'm looking. I don't see anything. In Sakla Ramada, if you run across what the tattoo on her face was, let us know. Tattoo all y'all want. I just want to know. I have multiple. Oh gosh, maybe. Does it look like stars? Hi. You watch it from the bushes. You always come out with one or two great comments and then back to the bushes you go. It's so nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Looks like an implant, not a tattoo. Interesting. Rebecca went to the hospital, was dilated to a 1. Right. Her friend called Courtney and said, don't let her leave with anyone, that she was coming to pick her up. Yeah, and she also told her, don't you dare have that baby in the hospital. Which was odd. Which was very, very odd. Don't you think? Wade Wilson stole all of your face tattoos? Hey, look at him looking like a whole joker behind prison bars right now. I picture him with the coffee cup going over the bars. Back and forth. Because he's lost all of the Wade wives. My sister got a rose in her cleavage when she was 18, and I told her by the time you're 40, it's going to be a long stem rose. Sorry. No, you can't even. Oh, you thought it was the mom. Does she look like her mama? Richard looks different in every picture. You was in the live with Allegedly Speculating too, and you were trying to listen, and like, life is crazy right now, and I'm so glad I have you all. We're so glad we have you. We're so glad we have you. Well, yeah, she didn't want her to have the baby in the hospital so she could steal the baby. Yeah. Don't you dare have that baby. It's so odd, though. Like, Rebecca, like, what? That was your red flag. Like, get out, get away. Her adoptive mom warned her and Kimberly, stay away. They do. It makes people look differently all the time. I can't imagine. Can't imagine.
Basically, me and my wife, we were searching for about an hour. We were looking around, walking around for about an hour. And then all of a sudden, this white truck came up to us. And this this man jumped out of the car of the driver's side, and then an older guy got out, and the younger guy was trying to show us a video and said, we think we've seen a mask and like a debit card. And he was really shaking and like really like scared, looked like. And so I said, well, instead of you trying to show me this video, why don't we jump in your truck and you just take me to this, what you want to show us. And so we jumped in the truck, which we shouldn't have. We jumped in the truck, and they took.
She said because although we shouldn't have. I'll have to go back and listen to that for a second. I wondered if it was because the baby would test positive because she wouldn't tell her, don't have that baby because I want the baby. What did she tell Rebecca to make her feel like she couldn't have? Yeah, if she were using, you're right. If she were to test positive for any type of substance, the baby would have been removed from her care before she ever got home. You're so right. Yeah, it's not speaking ill of the dead. It's, in the end of everything, if it comes out in court, that it's a possibility because they will come out with a toxicology report for this girl, and we'll know. Eventually, we will know. So, if there were anything in her system, and I'm going to say this out loud, and this is a trigger warning. I don't know if anybody remembers this or not, but we were going through the probable cause affidavit, and they mentioned that they were going to get Tide Pods or some type of detergent. I'll go down through your comments in just a second. I have to stop or I won't finish my sentence. They were going to get the Tide Pods or some type of detergent, and then it said the contents of her stomach was that blue or greenish like color that you would find in a Tide Pod once it melted. And I was just wondering, this is just where my brain went, was if they made her eat a Tide Pod. Like, I know that's demented, right? I shouldn't be thinking that way. But with the contents of her stomach being what it was, I'm wondering if that's going to come out. Oh, Lord, forgive me for where my mind goes. Hey, Pretend Judge, good to see you, says Kane's Nana. Kim says, good to see you. Her adoptive mom also said Rebecca was very trusting. She was raised in a safe home with safe people. Yes, she did say that. She didn't know how ugly and unsafe the world can be. That is absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah, I agree with you. I can't find info, but I sent you a pic. You really cannot see what it says. Okay, Robert, thank you so much, dear. I don't know why, but now that I know they're a married couple, they seem more legitimate to me compared to just thinking they were random searchers. You think so, Content? For this and the science, even English is hard, and I double majored in nursing and English in college. Yeah, trigger warning. Hello, Kim. I didn't see you there. What? Sorry, I'll get on topic. No, you're fine, Orange. You guys talk about whatever you want to talk about there in the chat. You talk about whatever you want to talk about. See, look at what Kim's talking about. Air-fried toaster strudels. You see? Tide Pods are highly toxic. Yeah. They change the math every year. I can't do a fifth grader's math anymore. Don't let me lie to you. You're hard to see in green. It's really strange, but I wouldn't put it past those folks. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to think about it, right? I didn't want to think about that at all because but I did, I heard tell around the, streets, and I just thought, maybe, just maybe. God, I hope not. I hope not. My gosh. The thing that put Rebecca in danger was this yearning to know her bio mom, which I did hear Vinnie Politan say that, once we get to a certain age and we've found that we're adopted, or once we get to a certain age and we just want to know, like, why did you give us up? Or, did you get a better life? Like my grandmother was part of the Chicago, Illinois children that were abandoned and fostered out in those cold homes back in the day, which we don't have, asylums anymore, but basically the orphanages and the asylums went hand in hand for the little children. And a lot of the children in Chicago, Illinois ended up under those asylums and under those orphanages instead of with foster families. And she was actually adopted out, which is how, oddly enough, how we ended up in Texas as a family. She was adopted out by a family and brought down to Texas by her adoptive mom at one point, and eventually met her real mom at a later age in life, way late in life, and wanted to know why she had been adopted out, and found out that her adoptive mother had a whole nother family with a new husband, like a whole bunch of other kids after they had adopted out her and her little brother during the time of the Great Depression. It's a sad thing, but there are a lot of searchers because they cared. Well, yeah, I would hope anybody that's out searching is because they cared and not for clout. Although I know that sometimes it's for both. I thought maybe they punctured her bowel and that's what it is. But maybe. We'll have to see what the medical examiner says in the end. I hope you're right. I hope that's, I mean, I don't want to say it like that, my God. I don't hope you're right that they punctured her bowel, but I hope it's not because they did something even more nefarious, like, force her to do something like that. So they did mass transport kids in trains, but not like, not like another country did back then, but they did have. It's a whole story. We should go over that one day. There's a whole story behind the the kids in Chicago and what happened to them. It's easy to find. Yeah. Judges only ever seen me in blue and gray. They can't see you in green. I don't think the couple was professional, but who knows? We hear somewhere in one of the arraignment or the PCA that they are just volunteers. Be back at 45. Okay, we'll be here.
Us, and we went about another mile into the national forest. The man stopped.
I remember we were going to go back just a little bit to see what this is, what we're talking about here.
Got out, and the younger guy was trying to show us a video and said, "We think we've seen a mask and like a debit card," and he was really shaking and like really like scared, looked like. And so I said, well, instead of you trying to show me this video, why don't we jump in your truck and you just take me to this, what you want to show us? And so we jumped in the truck, which we shouldn't have. We jumped in the truck, and they took us, and we went about another mile into the national forest. The man stopped, and we jumped out, and the younger man said, "Here, it's right here." And we turned our head right off the 2-track, and turned our head, and well, there was the mask about 12 feet to 15 feet off the 2-track. You could clearly see it if you were driving down this road.
Which was
Rebecca.
Okay, so at least Patricia, they are talking about how somebody else told them that they had discovered a mask, allegedly a mask, and the card that was on her body. Content's asking, is she talking about your cousin, as in Rebecca's biological father? That's the person in the truck that they're talking about that you had mentioned at the beginning of the stream. Alrighty, time to go out in the cold one more time, then we're going to bed. Okay, Kim, we'll be here. Let us know. So I'm not crazy. I'm hearing two slightly different framings of basically the same thing. Now, like I said, everything on this channel is my opinion and my opinion only. The poor woman in the Michigan sweatshirt seems like she was in shock in the video where she's relaying what she sees. Never ceases to amaze me how many people are affected by an act of evil. I agree with you. I did find her a little coarse, but maybe that is possibly because she was in shock. But I will say this, and this is, again, my opinion. For her still to be out here doing interviews tells me that she probably went searching for the right reasons, but once it happened, I don't know that she thought through what she would do afterwards. Like doing these interviews. Oh, we're going with you? Okay. Everybody bundle up. We're going out to the cold. But I feel like if she was doing these interviews now, like maybe she didn't come prepared mentally for where she would go after if she found the body. And does that make sense without being crude myself? I'm trying to say that in a way that doesn't sound shitty. I feel like, okay, yeah, she assisted in finding Rebecca, or in the search for finding Rebecca, and everybody's going to want to know her side of the story. So, I won't be too judgy, but I feel like on that first video that we watched, she did look like she was in shock, but but seemed like she was a little crude. Like, oh yeah, the animals were eating at her face. It's like, even in times of shock, I think I don't know. I could be wrong, but I feel like you would know what to say reasonably. That could just be me, you know. But the guy in the truck saw the debit card. So a debit card in somebody else's name was recovered at the scene with the body, right? In the immediate area. And that became part of the evidence, allegedly. And Courtney is saying that it belongs to James Mercer, not Kimberly. But they're saying that they saw the debit card and then a mask, quote unquote, a mask, 12 feet approximately from the 2 track. How would the person who drove by saw the card if it was in the immediate area of the body? You understand where I'm coming from? With the body in the affidavit is like literally with the body, found at or near the body at the scene. Not physically attached, right? But on the ground by her or in a brushy leaf within a few feet from her in the same small search area as her. That makes sense. I feel she had no clue what was to follow. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Cindy. You said that better than I could. If she found her, no average person is prepared for sure horror. Absolutely. She did seem very brusque. I also don't think she knew she would be recorded in the moment. You don't think so? I don't know anything about Jackie S. or Jax S. I don't know anything about them. It seems like they knew they were on camera, but I can't say I wasn't there. Maybe they'll mention that. It's the older guy she talks about is your cousin, and the younger guy is his son. Okay. Thank you very much, Patricia.
And on the side of the 2 track, where before you go into the woods, which is camping areas, so it's flat, you know. You could just see her head, her face, like the side of her face, and it was white, so you could really see it. And so I walked up to it. The young boy did not want the young man did not want the older man to walk up to it. And so I walked up to it. I leaned over it. I said, "It's not a mask. It's Rebecca." I walked up I told my wife, Courtney, to call 911. And I walked up to the man, the older man, and I said, "I'm so sorry."
What did you guys do? I mean, you called 911, but what was running through your mind when you came up on this scene?
Honestly, me and my wife, after the cops told us that the 2 gentlemen had to go back to get them on the main road, which was like probably 2.5 miles on 2 tracks, we had to stay there. The police told us we had to stay there with the body, and then we were there with the body for like 20-25 minutes. We were scared, to be honest, because
we didn't time it.
We didn't time it exact, but it seemed like that long.
So she admitted they were scared. I mean, like, and then saying that she didn't time it exactly. The way that she's looking at her, I mean, it seems, I'm not a body language expert, but so far from what I can tell, the way that they're reacting to me, it seems genuine. Like they did admit that somebody else brought them to the body, so they're not claiming that we found her. I mean, they did find her. In all actuality, they were the ones that reported it to the police, right? But somebody brought them to the body, and they don't want to be on the news and out front. So I believe them. I believe them. I read that. Let's see. Kim, hurry up. We're freezing. Thank you. Think of all the volunteers that have gone out into search parties for these missing children and adults. How many would be prepared to walk up on something like that? Yeah, and that's a good point too. It's like we're not we're good people, right? Generally, quote unquote, we are good people. I say that loosely. Most people are good people, and genuine people want to go out and they want to do anything they can to help and find the missing and murdered, frankly. or the missing that, we hope we find in the grocery store 2 towns over and go, oh, we found them, but we're not ever prepared. You're not going to sit down and make a mental note of, okay, now what would I do if I found them, if you're just in a hurry to get out there and try to find them. So I get that. I could be giving too much benefit of the doubt. I can't imagine how much adrenaline would be going through you if you found someone. Yeah, I can't imagine, especially in the condition that they did find her. I absolutely agree with you. Yeah, I find that very interesting. Have you been to Bellis? Hey, twin, how have you been? I think it's where have you been, but. So these are civilians, right? They're not cops. Their job is not to collect evidence. Their job, in theory, was to find the missing pregnant woman. So they describe themselves. I listened to how they're describing themselves, and they're centering Rebecca and the baby as the center. You have to think about that. Are they centering themselves, or are they centering Rebecca? That's what I look at, kind of like, quote unquote, psychologically. And that's why I tend to believe them, because they sound like people that are trying to be precise and careful, or people that are trying to be dramatic, or they're just trying to tell you the story and stuff that they noticed while they were there. So my first impression to me is that they're grounded, in what they're saying. They're a little overwhelmed, but I don't feel like they're performative, especially in like interviews that we've seen on this channel from the past. So I feel like they're more like advocates, random locals who joined in the search. That's my opinion. Same old, scratch that pain. Welcome into the elf hut. You want to see the elfies? Let me take this off the bloop. We move this. Look at that. Look at them elfies. Right. They admitted that they didn't find her, that there were 2 men that led her to the area. And they could possibly be getting the credit because, now I don't know him, but if her biological father and his son don't want to be spotlighted, especially in a time like this, I can't blame them. I would never blame the victim's family for not wanting to be front and center in this. I think it would be really hard, as you discussed earlier. He's never going to be the same. So if he doesn't come out here and jump on camera and talk about how he found his dead daughter gutted on the side of the road in the leaves with her baby cut out of her womb, I'm not going to blame him. That's just my opinion there. Because I feel like as a parent, it's very hard for me as a mother to tell the story, 2 different stories of how I walked in one room and found my son deceased. And it's been over 20 years for both of them. So in my position, just as somebody who has long-term trauma that I've been trying to deal with for over 20 years, I wouldn't put too much harsh judgment on him. No, we ain't outside. We're in the car because the phone was going to die. This is the only interview I've seen. If they were all over TikTok, I think it was a clout thing. Yeah, I haven't seen them. I haven't seen them on anywhere else, but I also have not looked, so don't take me at my word on that because I don't know. And Patricia, please don't take me wrong. I'm totally on your side on this. All of the feelings and everything that you're saying is validated, but I definitely want to make sure I give the father enough grace to say, he was just getting to know her and getting to know he's getting to know somebody he'd never gotten to grow up with and gotten to know and love as a daughter because she was not in his life. And so I can't imagine him just getting to know her and thinking about all the things that he's missing out. There's so much that runs through your mind when you see a loved one that's just deceased. Even when we go in and we look at like viewings, right, at funerals and stuff like that, when you go in and you're like, damn, Mom, I wish I could have told you one more time. Or I wish I could have told you I loved you. Like, I can't imagine the stuff that was running through his mind when he found her. So for them coming out and talking to him, maybe they have a better way of saying it. There's also quite a bit of judgment on him because he has a record. He has a record. And there are other reasons that he wasn't around that whole time. But you heard the 80s song? The heat is on. Okay. Now you're going to have to listen to it to get it out of your head. Y'all are funny.
In the midst of us standing there, we did have one vehicle pass us, and that was a little scary. We didn't know who was out in the woods. We didn't know the area. We didn't know where our vehicle was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was
Ladies,
really
that is
scary.
so scary. That is so scary.
Yeah.
And also you're keeping basically vigil over this young woman who's been brutally murdered.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me, and I know it's graphic and it's disturbing, and I'm certainly going to warn our viewers, but if you could tell us what you saw when you saw Rebecca, what state was she in when you saw her?
Well, she had passed away. She had passed away. You could see that. They basically put like 7 sticks on her and some leaves. You could see that something had happened to her face because.
Okay, Hannah, love. Put on something that makes you happy if you'd like, love. Girl, you in Arkansas. I'm going to tell you what's walking through the woods. The moonshiners. You in the Ozarks, baby. You in the Ozarks. Hope you feel better soon. Yeah, Ayers, get your ass in the house. It is 9:30 at night. Got them moonshiners out there. You're going to end up inebriated and not be able to stream, not be able to unpack.
The rest of her face was not decaying, just right here, like something had happened right here, like if she either got hit or something, because that skin right there was decaying. You could see her belly, and the insides of it. And the
rest of her was covered.
The rest of her pretty much was covered with leaves. I didn't want to move leaves. I didn't want to, but
right.
To really see, I knew the community would want to know if the baby was there. I looked, and what I seen, where there was no baby. And I just want to also say that when the news reporter had was talking to me, the adopted mom, Stephanie, had just walked up. It was dark. It was snowing. She was upset and yelling.
I mean, there was no doubt that was her.
So we have not met in our chat. We have not met Stephanie Park, which is Rebecca's adoptive mom. I have not met her yet. So this is my first introduction to Stephanie Park. That poor man. I'll pray for this side of the family. I heard biological father had found her, but it was alleged. I didn't know until this stream he was the man these ladies mentioned. Yeah. That's according to Patricia. That's what we're hearing. Grab the geese, Basil, and Mr. Speculating, and tear that ass to the house in that order. Basil's going to save your ass. From their angle of the story is we show up, we see X, Y, Z, including the card. And from the affidavit's angle, the card is found within the crime scene, and so it's logged as evidence. And I keep going back to that, and I know it doesn't seem significant, but I believe that it is. And so I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's go back a little bit here. What attention to detail do you think that they're, what I didn't understand, there is an attention to detail that they're not describing, in my opinion. Hopefully it's not Bigfoot, Kim said. Be careful. No, she doesn't have any dogs. She has a rabbit and geese. Neither of which are going to save her from the moonshiners. I feel like they described what they saw to the best of their ability, said that they didn't want, they described the terrain, they described the 2 tracks, how far she was off the road, but I feel like they're pulling back from the graphic details. To me, that helps me take them a little bit more seriously, because I feel like there's a lot of people who would like the shock and wow factor, right? The shock and wow factor, that would be a way for me to know, a way for me to internalize how they were reacting to the situation. So, all right, let's meet Stephanie Park, Rebecca's adoptive mom.
I knew, and I had talked to the ladies that had actually seen the body within minutes of being there, and they had actually not spoken to the police and given a statement to the police. And that was an error on everybody's part, because the police needed that information and not the public, and which had made the case even harder to, made some of the evidence less likely to hold up in court.
And so me and the wife had to then calm her.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, that wasn't a very long segment. So I'm going to go back to the very start of that and pay attention to what she says. So I feel like she's saying that, she, even though she talked to these women within minutes, she didn't feel like that was the right thing. I'm trying to be nice. Obviously, she felt like there was some error or some issue with the fact that the girls were either on a TikTok live right after this happened, and we saw when the police walked up to them, right? We saw that on the live. That's when the police first came. They were already on a TikTok live. They had already gotten a lot of this news out to the public before the police had spoken to them and before they put in an official statement. So it looks like she was a little dismayed about that, which she says that it makes it a little harder to get the details of the case into the case and not have bias because of the public nature of it.
I had talked to the ladies that had actually seen the body within minutes of being there, and they had actually not spoken to the police and given a statement to the police. And that was an error on everybody's part, because the police needed that information and not the public, and which had made the case even harder to made some of the evidence less likely to hold up in court.
And so
yeah, how did they even know how to get in touch with Stephanie? Or was she watching the live? It's a good question. Hold on, Abellis. Hold on. You better not have voicemailed me. My chat is where you. Yeah, okay, good. There she is. I knew if I called her and she voicemailed me, she'd check in here. You have the chat worried. I'm glad somebody's checking the woods, but what we wanted to know if you were okay. You can't drop that kind of information on us. I did. I just called her. She voicemailed me, and now she's in here answering y'all. That's what Jessica does. Oh, Jessica speculate. Mr. Speculating is checking the woods. It was ticking, then got quiet. Girl. Lord have mercy. All right. We're going to keep going. You keep us updated. You got people over here. You can't do that to us with the killer wasps out there. It was happening as you were typing. Oh, no worries.
Me and the wife had to then calm her down, and then it was like, come on, do this news thing. And so I was very emotional about the whole situation at the time.
Of course you were. It's very helpful to hear what was happening when she was found from your perspective. Have you been able to put 2 and 2 together? Have you had any time to think about it?
The only thinking that we've done is that we've learned that we should not have got in any truck. We would have, if we wouldn't have gotten a truck or bumped into them, we still would have found her because we were on our way that way.
Why did you not feel like you should have gotten in that truck?
Because these are bad people. And we don't know bad people. And now that we are learning who these people are, because like I said, we didn't know the people. We didn't know the area. We knew nothing about none of these people. Something just pulled us to go out after like 2 weeks of listening and listening and listening. Something just pulled us out there to go out there. And honestly, we didn't think we were going to find somebody, her, because everybody had already looked, supposedly, like several times.
So I like the way that she's looking straight at the camera. I like her partner in the background. Again, I find a lot of credibility, just my opinion. I found a lot of credibility with these two. I don't think that originally they were looking out for clout. If she's saying that they weren't sure they were going to find anybody, they were going out just to try to look for her, to try to be good Samaritans, try to be good searchers. And the area, it is known that the area that was searched where they actually found the body and the other existing evidence had been searched previously. So allegedly they believe that that body was moved. Now we're not for sure about that yet. And I'm going to say that we're probably not going to catch any of that until we get to a pretrial hearing or until we get to trial, because it is what it is. I think that, excuse me, 1 second. I just don't think that we're going to find much more than we got out of the probable cause besides what we got. Now, as for Stephanie, from Stephanie's perspective, once that live hit the internet before the police did their full private interview, the searchers stopped being just quote unquote pure witnesses, right? They become public narrators at that point. So their first detailed story about finding Rebecca wasn't told in an interview room. It was told on camera in front of an audience with a chat reacting in real time. That means that their language, the emphasis, and their reactions could all have been, they're frozen online now. And other people can watch it, repeat it. They can build their own memory around it. And for a family member who wants a airtight case like this, it probably feels risky to her. So I get why she feels that it changed the case a little bit. The moment you tell your story to the internet first instead of detectives, you're not just a witness anymore, right? You're also part of the content, in my opinion. And that can complicate things.
So
you were meant to find her.
Obviously.
You were both meant to find her because you can tell the truth about what happened now, which is very helpful. As far as what is happening now to get justice for Rebecca, you're hearing all of the details that are coming out, aren't you?
Absolutely.
How are you handling that?
I think we're handling it differently. I'm very involved in reading and researching. Amy doesn't want to hear about it anymore. The details, that is. She wants to hear about them getting prosecuted and all that and justice for Rebecca, but the details of the case, I don't think she's comfortable with hearing anymore.
I understand that. And I know that it's disturbing. As we go through this, do you think there's a lot more for us to understand? Because you said that there was a debit card there. Were you ever given any clarification about?
So I like this interview, except for I almost feel like they would say more and give more details of that day or what happened if she would. Now, this could be highly edited. There could be 4 or 5 hours worth of stuff here, and this just could be what she put out, right? So don't get me wrong, but she's talking about how everybody's reacting to the trauma differently, or what they want to hear after the search is over, and now that the case study is coming out. So not everyone has had the same exposure. One person might be the first to see her, the other one might have stayed back at the vehicle, the other one, could have seen it in a different way. And their level of sensory detail, to me, it matters, because you have one who is okay with talking about what happened the day of the discovery of Rebecca Parks. She's up close. She's telling you about the shape of the body, the terrain, the area where it happened, and she likely was the one who got the closest. And I'm going to be graphic, but she's likely the one who, who smelled the scene, saw the scene in a different way. And that changes how you process. That changes how your brain processes. And so she's probably got overload, sensory overload from what she saw. And some people who perceive that in a certain way end up shutting it off. She spent 25 minutes, more or less, with a dead body, with a baby cut out of a womb. And the way she processed that, it might have just been too much. So it makes sense that they're processing it differently. Even if they were standing in the exact same spot with the exact same responsibilities when Rebecca was found, they're going to be different. They're going to be different. So if you've ever been through something awful like that, there isn't one correct reaction, right? We don't know. Some people collapse. Some people are weirdly calm about it. Jessica said that she would sit there and wait, because she didn't want her to be alone after she'd already been alone out in those woods. So some people, like me, I'd probably make some bad jokes about it. And, the body is just your body is just trying to survive that moment. So.
Why there was any kind of identity, debit card there? Was it Rebecca's?
It was not Rebecca's. From my understanding, now I'm not an investigator. It was the sister's boyfriend's card. And Kimberly's stuff was left at Courtney's. So from my understanding, it was sat there to frame someone else.
Do you think that?
So, and my assumption is that she got that from the same thing that we got it from, was a probable cause affidavit. And then the people that have been on TikTok that have talked about, or TikTok, Facebook, Reddit, different places, since she did state that she's very involved, I'm sure she's getting her narrative from other places. But yeah, it seems like that she's very involved, so she's picked up that narrative from somewhere else.
There's more to be uncovered here from the work, from the people you've talked to as well.
With this case, I think anything's possible. There could be more involved. I'm not sure. But definitely with the craziness that's going on, I think that something else could come up. Somebody else could be involved.
I think the boy, I don't think he's a bad guy. I call him a boy because I'm 51 years old, a grandma, so
He's a young man.
He looks like a young man. I don't think the young man has anything to do with that. I think he was distraught. He was crying. He was shaking. He was distraught.
Well, thank you for telling me about how this actually happened, because that helps clear up, some of the confusion that I had as we start understanding what happened. But as you,
María, ¿dónde has estado, corazón? Oh, Hi, Sweet Pea. Member for 5 months. It is so nice to see you. Thank you for coming by. I've missed your face. Thank you for interrupting. I was just about to say I really needed a little break. My mind is spinning over here. Maria, congratulations on being a guardian for 5 months. It's so good to have you here. Hola. Hola. Bellas. You're supposed to say Maria in the elf hut. Welcome in, girl. Let me put over here. Look at these elfies. Look at that podcast, elfies. You're loving your career and your life at the moment. I love that. How's your boy? I love that so much. You know, it's so good. This is an actual picture of me. I love when you love life, especially during the holidays. Welcome back. Welcome back. We were worried. Girl, don't be out searching at 10 o'clock at night out in those woods with them moonshiners, girl. Stop it. Oh, he's growing. Oh. Yeah, this is a hard case. I'm glad you're not having him in here listening. Only at the beginning. Only the beginning. Maria in the elf hut. What? Maria, you want a PSA? I'm going to give you a PSA. I'm going to let you know how it is in here, okay?
This is a fucking commentary, critique, and opinion channel, motherfuckers. That means on this channel, I comment, critique, and give my opinion on what other motherfuckers are doing on YouTube. What part of that do some of you dumbass motherfuckers not get?
That's our PSA for the channel. Okay, now who is the one person that hasn't hit the... Oh, man. There's always one. Is it me? Is it me? Jez, what was in the woods? Sasquatch? Aliens? She said it was the beaver. It was a beaver. That's awkward. What was a beaver out there sounding like a human? We've missed you. What's a beaver doing out there sounding like a whole human? Oh my goodness. She thinks it was a beaver. If you don't mind, take that moment, one moment, and please hit the like button. If you would do that, I would really be appreciative. I'm always appreciative, but I'll be really more appreciative. Allegedly speculated says it'll help us get us out in the algorithm. But we copied that from another channel. It sounded like it was walking, and then it was like, did I say it right? Girl, when are you gonna find us? You hit the like button already. Thank you very much. I'm glad you'll be listening. Don't let the baby listen today. This is a bad case, okay? Beavers are cute. Allegedly speculating needs to find us another transcript for comedy purposes. I mean, education purposes only, of course. Like cutting a tree down, so it might have been the beaver moving and eating the tree. Girl. Oh. A hearts too? You guys make my heart beat. All right, let's go back to it. Let's see where we're at. We're at 16 and a half minutes in, 30 minutes. Now, the reason it takes so long, and this is a disclaimer, is because if we don't commentate over the top of somebody else's work, it's not transformation, and it's just something that we got to do for the YouTubes. They're going to make a dam in the geese pond. Get them out. Then the geese won't have any water. I sent him to bed already. Yes, good. Kisses for the baby. It's not crazy. The ponds are good, yeah. But you can't be sticking beaver dams in the ponds. Beaver dams are made for moving water, not little ponds.
That's wacky nonsense.
turn it back up. Did you hear?
That's wacky nonsense.
There we go.
Got mail.
Oh, is that Hannah?
You've got mail.
Hopefully she's laying down getting some rest. Lordy.
You said it appears that Rebecca was in trouble possibly long before this murder happened.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
She had tried to keep Kimberly's baby earlier this year, and we had gotten her out of there. Now she lives with us too, and she wanted the baby, and that's all there was to it. And she was going to do anything she had to get it. And if I could go back, I would bring Rebecca into my house and I would make her stay here until to keep her safe and had the baby. I would have, in a heartbeat.
I know that Rebecca don't go nowhere by herself. I know that me and Rebecca and Paige have had a thing in mind for at least 6 years now, that if something was to go wrong, we have Rebecca's okay to call the cops and have them come look for her.
And I know that your community is grieving, and so is everyone. I think that as this story comes out, it's an important story for us to tell, so that we can talk about protecting women, especially when they're this vulnerable.
And children.
And children. And I'm so sorry that you had to see that, but I'm also so grateful that you were there.
Yeah. So I'm going to pause that for just a second. So one person's perception, which is Stephanie, that's the person I'm talking about, is obviously not a proven fact, right? So we've got several claims that were all packed into that little bitty perspective that Stephanie gave. She said, Courtney allegedly tried to keep Kimberly's baby earlier last year. The baby is now with Stephanie as the adoptive mom. And in Stephanie's view, Courtney would do anything to get that baby. And of course, she sees it that way now because the evidence is clear that she did do something to try to make something happen with Rebecca's baby, right? So her view is that Courtney would do anything to get a baby. And so that is what she did. The regret is where she says she would do it again. She would get Kimberly's baby again if she had to do it all over. And then she would keep Rebecca home. And that sounds like I would still protect that baby, even if it meant Rebecca stayed, mad or distant, or, she'd still make that call to Rebecca and tell her, come home, have this baby. So it's Stephanie's perception of Courtney with all of the prior adoption situations. So we don't have the family court file, obviously, that says what kind of experience that they went through for her to get those adoptive children. We do know that Kimberly's baby, they're all children under 5, that Kimberly's child is with the adoptive mother, and both of Rebecca's children, who are both under 5, are with Rebecca's adoptive mother as well. And she was pregnant again. So we just have to jump to a conclusion that if she had it to do all over again, she would try to keep Rebecca home so that she could have the baby in the safe environment that she knew. Right? So it's a pattern of conflict around the babies and who has control of the babies in this situation. And it looks like maybe Courtney not only had the jealousy for Kimberly and her baby, but Rebecca and her baby, but now the adoptive mom, and the fact that she has the babies, like all of the babies, including her own biological children at one point. So long-term pattern of conflict there. So she sees Courtney as someone who doesn't accept losing a baby out of her orbit, which dovetails into the possible prosecution's narrative of obsession. Courtney being obsessed and controlling and having that sense of entitlement around her children and her grandchildren. So if Stephanie's right, that paints Courtney as someone who doesn't handle losing control very well, right? Which we've seen a little bit of in previous videos. And that's just a narrative. It's not proof, obviously. So the motive is always a story built from a lot of the smaller pieces. And that's just one piece, just one perspective.
Yeah, I'm grateful that I guess I'm not grateful. I'm just we're just two strong, independent women, and maybe that's why we were the ones to be pushed out there to have to do this. So that's the only thing I can come up with, because everybody that we've spoke to, they've all said no, they couldn't have stood there. You know, anybody could have been in them woods.
I mean, you said that this is off of a track. Her face was white. You could see her. Why do you think it took them this long to find her? Especially with like trucks going by and the bio
It
dad
boggles
knowing
our
where she
brains,
is.
because I'm going to tell you, it was hunting season.
Okay, there we go. That is the first time that we've gotten validation for Patricia's comment. So up to this point, they have been very careful about what she mentioned. But this interviewer just now says the bio dad knew where she is. So I'm going to back that up just a few seconds so that you can hear her say that. So she's obviously privy to the information that Patricia gave us. So that validates Patricia, and I really appreciate her being in chat with us tonight.
They couldn't have stood there. Anybody could have been in them woods.
I mean, you said that this is off of a track. Her face was white. You could see her. Why do you think it took them this long to find her? Especially with like trucks going by and the bio dad knowing where she is.
Because I'm going to tell you, it was hunting season 2. I don't know how anybody didn't see this.
It was so clear, you could see so far in the woods, and the carpet was yellow. Like the ground was like,
She was only 15 to 12 to 15 feet off the road.
And you could see the drag marks that somebody dragged her, because the only spot on the whole forest that you've seen black dirt was like
up to her body,
from the 2-track right up to her body. And so it was like black dirt. There was no leaves on it. There was nothing.
Now, this is really interesting. When you go back through the affidavits of Courtney, Bradley, and Kimberly, there are references to the body being dragged, taken away, or even stored. So let me break this down for you, but it's also important to include the dates. On November 22nd, 3 days before Rebecca's body was found, police...
Let me take the wizard off of here so that you guys can see her... Oops. Wizzy, come on down. Come on off. All right, Guardian, thank you. All right, that way we can see the dates a little bit more clearly.
Interviewed her sister, Kimberly Park, who told police...
Yes, that's her wife.
That Courtney and Bradley had struck Rebecca in the head. She had a seizure. They couldn't revive her, so Brad had a friend come and pick up Rebecca's body and take it away, saying Bradley said something...
I missed that because I was yapping.
Rebecca in the head. She had... Through the affidavits of Courtney, Bradley, and Kimberly, there are references to the body being dragged, taken away, or even stored. So let me break this down for you, but it's also important to include the dates. On November 22nd, 3 days before Rebecca's body was found, police interviewed her sister, Kimberly Park, who told police that Courtney and Bradley had struck Rebecca in the head. She had a seizure. They couldn't revive her, so Brad had a friend come and pick up Rebecca's body and take it away, saying Bradley said something about a swamp.
So I did not... Hold on. Where was that? Kimberly told police that Courtney and Bradley struck her in the head. She had a seizure and couldn't revive her. And mentioned a swamp. Was that in the... Is that anything that we read? Hold on, I'm looking. So a couple of days even before all of this stuff happened, she was hit in the head. She had a seizure. They couldn't revive her. And that was 3 days before this happened? That was 3 days? trying to check the facts here of where that came from. Yeah, she's very pretty. Sorry, guys, bear with me. Encycla Ramada, are you here? I haven't heard that either. Yeah. I need to find out where that's coming from. Is it in the, okay. All right. Well, let's do this because if that's true, I want to know. All right. Hold on. Thank you very much for that, Pretend. Let me go into the drive here and see if I can't find that. Did I miss that somewhere? Ramada, am I being too quiet? Okay, so this is Kimberly. Let's see here. Again, thank you very much, Seeking Justice, for the paperwork here. This is the warrant, the felony warrant. Tampering with evidence. These are her charges. Tampering with evidence, lying to a peace officer. No, you might be right. What I want to just make sure, because I haven't heard that, I just want to make sure that that's crazy. So reported as coming from Kimberly's statements to the police. So we're going to summarize that. We're going to look. When outlets say Kimberly told investigators that Courtney and Brad hit Rebecca in the head, she had a seizure and they couldn't revive her, they're pulling it from Kimberly's interview or the charging documents, not from Courtney and Bradley's. We know that. So we're not seeing it in theirs. So the suspects are Bradley and Courtney Bartholomew. Both of them have been charged with several things. Will you do me a favor, Rubber Ramada? Would you please give Maria the link to the probable cause affidavit and that first actually, Maria, the easiest thing to do is to go into my playlist, pick up the Rebecca Park playlist and go from the start to the finished. You see the picture? Okay. Tampering with evidence. Did offer evidence that he or she recklessly disregarded as false in a criminal case. That's not anything. Let's see if it's telling us. Okay, that's not the one. Complaint. Okay. Let's pull this up. Lying to a police officer is the same thing. False report, that's not it. This is Bradley's, Courtney's. What's this? Sheila. I hate when this happens. I'm looking for the place where it tells us that Kimberly said that Bradley and Courtney hit her in the head. She had a seizure. And they couldn't revive her. That's what we're looking for. If anybody knows where that is, please let me know. This is the complaint. Obviously, I'm missing something. It's obvious. That's Richard Failer. This right here we did see, and basically he just says that we're not going to entertain her on, so they did this in court, but we didn't get a hold of that. Maybe we could get a hold of that transcript somehow or another. But other than that, yeah, I'm not seeing it. You guys let me know if you run into that, because I'd really love to see that. I'll have to look into that, see if there's any other paperwork that we're missing. or something we may have to. Now that it's under scrutiny and under investigation, we may not be able to FOIA anything until way late in the case. But if I'm missing that paperwork, I'd love to see it.
Then, when police went to her house on November 25th to tell her that they found her sister's body, she made a statement about Rebecca possibly being stored at an unknown location. On November 30th, Courtney told police that after Rebecca was killed, Bradley used a cord on the back of his snowplow on the truck to pull her body about 20 feet down an embankment, pulling her back and off the road and then covering her with leaves. Courtney suspected that Bradley had gone back to Rebecca the day before she was found and the day she was found because he left for about 20 minutes each time. Also on the 30th, during an interview, Bradley showed police where all this took place and said it happened on a hill. He told them he didn't know if anybody had gone back to where Rebecca's body was found, and he denied going back to the scene. Both Courtney and Bradley Bartholomew were arrested on the night of November 30th for Rebecca's murder.
So in my eyes, and me and my wife's head, we feel like that night she got put there, if you can read between my lines.
I mean, they had within days, they had the entire woods scoured by 30 some different agencies and law enforcement and dogs and everything, and she was not there.
Poor lady. I feel so bad for her. No, for Kimberly Park. The language is from her own interviews with the investigators and her police reports or the supplementals or the charging documents. The media pieces like paraphrasing of what, Kimberly told detectives during the interviews that, you know what I mean? So we're not getting a direct summary from anywhere that I can find. We have the basic charging documents, the case history, people versus Kimberly, tampering with evidence, false report. Those documents are very bare bones. They don't say anything. They're charging titles and the statutes, the dates, all that shit, but they don't have any of the actual narrative. Her sworn statement, more or less. We'll have to go and ask for the court file. We already know the court case number and stuff like that, so we might be able to get a records request from Wexford County Sheriff or Michigan State Police, but they're probably going to be redacted and withheld. It's an active case. So if anybody runs into it, let me know. And thank you very much for looking, Pretend, and thank you very much. Ooh. Your bed is nice and full tonight. You got the Hercules, my kid's full-blooded black lab on my right, and all of y'all on my left. That is a big bed, and it is full. It is a bed full of people. All right, let's see what else Miss Stephanie had to say.
Her body was not in that woods.
When do you think she actually was in the woods where they found her?
I think she was moved there I would say within 12 hours. That means that they had to have hauled her around. They hauled her dead body around and put her somewhere else to hide her.
So you think her body could have been moved there?
Oh,
Or
yes.
that she just died and she was just put there?
She couldn't have been put there on the 3rd of November.
No,
There's no way.
There's no way.
There was leaves still falling. There wouldn't have been them drag marks on the road.
Yeah, it was like.
That's our opinion.
Yeah, that's our opinion, that we were there. I mean, we know exactly what we've seen, and we're not going to lie. We don't want to be famous off this. We don't need no credit.
I realize that. You're just trying to get to the truth, and I think we all are, and I'm really, really grateful. And I think
I like that they said that. It's like we're not looking for clout. We're just, yeah, we have it, babe. We're not looking for clout. We just wanted to help. We're not looking for credit. We're not looking for anything. So that's good. That's good. So Stephanie, it's an allegation or her interpretation of what happened, right? After Rebecca died, Courtney and Bradley didn't immediately leave her where she was found. Instead, she said that they hauled her dead body around and tried to hide her for some period, more or less the 12 hours before the eventual discovery in the woods. So she's making two claims, that they moved the body and then they tried to conceal it first. So they concealed the body and then moved the body. So they transported and tried to stash her body in another place before she was ultimately found, because they said that they've already searched that area. So either one, they wouldn't think that anybody would go back over that area and look, or two, they'd be like, oh wow, you guys looked back there, don't know why you couldn't have found her. So it's motive, narrative, pretty much coming from Stephanie's understanding of the timeline and what she's been told by either the investigators or the affidavits. Your meds are kicking in, sweet pea. Are you flying? Sleep sweet when you get there, okay? So the concept is fitting in exactly where the documents are. So she's, I'm sure, read the documents and the paperwork when Rebecca is believed to have been killed until she ends up at her final, destination in that part of the forest. You're fine, Rubber. No worries. So there's references to like vehicles moving around, obviously some type of cleanup behavior in here. We know that they burned the seat covers, that there was blood in the white truck. They talked about where to put her, in my opinion, and they all imply that it's like post-homicide movement or after. So legally, hopefully the state can show that there was movement of the body in an attempt to hide her, and then of course the burning and the cleaning up. So that becomes the evidence of consciousness of guilt and obstruction. It doesn't change the core charges, obviously, the murder, the torture, but it adds to the aggravation. It's not, if that makes sense. It's not a new homicide count by itself, but it adds to the evidence of consciousness of guilt and obstruction. So any other charges that it's an aggravating factor, it adds to it. It's not a standalone charge. Does that make sense? Thank you so much for hanging with us. Yes, go sleep. Go sleep. There's always replay. You can come back anytime, and we'll be here soon, another night. What we do see in the paperwork, though, is evidence that they did have a post-homicide movement, right, and cleanup. We see that in the paperwork. They talk about the blood in the truck. They talk about the seat covers. They talk about her being found in that remote area of the forest. And it all suggests that they didn't leave her where she initially went down. That is the suggestion there. Whether it's literally 12 hours or how many stops there were in between and who decided what to do with her and where and, how to put her body, all that stuff that's going to be pinned down, hopefully in court, with the cell data and their statements and all the forensics. So I treat Stephanie's version obviously as a motive in context. It's not finalized. It's not a proven timeline, but it's like, it helps. It helps, in my opinion.
Anyone that hears this interview is going to be really grateful that you came forward and explained some of this, because it is such a tangled web of lies
It
that
is.
has been told already. We
Yes.
really need to try and get to the truth.
They're still trying to look for the baby. They say the baby was wrapped in a garbage bag and put into a cooler at the garbage dump. So from my understanding, they started looking there.
They've been looking.
Or they've been looking. I just wish the baby could be found. I don't understand why these people can't just say what they did with the baby. I don't understand that. It's so
I also want to
disturbing.
say that the spotlight.
Indie Girl says, I'm actually going to go to sleep as well. My belly's full. Thank you, Lord. I'm glad you went live tonight. Talk to you soon. I'll see you soon, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your birthday. Sleep sweet. We don't know. I don't know. I mean, from what we've heard of the probable cause affidavit, it was done outside in another part of the woods, but maybe behind the house. I'm sure they've swept back there now and done all of the things to find the blood and where that would have happened at. But they're saying, where she was dropped off at was secondary. I'm sure they're going to find that initial place where that happened. Oh yeah, but it's also in Michigan. Yes, it's not necessarily the wrong answer. Maybe that's what Southern was saying. Maybe I just totally had a whole blow up and over nothing. Over that's not what she was saying. So from the searcher's perspective, it isn't over, right? In their understanding, law enforcement is still looking for the possibility that the baby is somewhere in the trash stream, and that means they're searching the landfill allegedly. They've been very clear that their biggest wish now is that the baby is found. Obviously, you know and given some dignity to the family. It's a long shot, but maybe they can. I want to be super clear, though. I don't have anything on the official press release that says they're doing a full-scale landfill recovery operation or anything. And what we have is just the searchers saying they've been told or they believe it's being considered, and that's their desire to see the baby located. That's their hope and their understanding. So I haven't seen anything on that. If investigators believe anything went into the household trash, um, other than the baby, the natural step is to at least map out whether the trash in that area could have gone to a transfer station or a landfill. And that's like standard, obviously, right? In homicide and fetal remains cases. Yeah, I'm going to say the amount of blood would have been, yeah, I agree with you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm half here. You got a mom on the loose. Woo! Where the baby at? Where's that little chihuahua at? Yeah, with all the trauma, it would, I believe, to be a horrid scene where it happened. I tend to agree with you. Even if the state could technically go forward without having the baby's remains, which they can, for a lot of people emotionally, it doesn't feel resolved until the child is found, right? Is that just me, or is that you guys too? I kind of look at it like if the baby could be found, there's no clinging to hope that the baby's going to be found alive. No. I they s- I mean, you have people that are hanging on to that type of hope, but it's been in the probable cause affidavit stated from jump that they took the baby out of the womb, the baby was not breathing. They went 5 minutes down the road without doing the CPR, got the baby home, did CPR on the bed. Newsflash, don't do CPR on anybody on the bed. That's a waste of your time. But they did CPR and that the baby died anyway. And they explained how they moved the baby from, trigger warning, moved the baby into a cooler and left it on the back porch overnight until they could go the next morning, wrap it in a trash bag, and throw it in a GFL or the rubbish bin. That's their story. Yeah. That's their theory. I don't think that is the issue with this case. Elaborate. Abellis would rather take a charge for selling a baby or murder. Oh, you're asking Abellis, would she rather take a charge for selling a baby or for murdering a baby? Oh, you're saying they would rather take a charge for, y'all are going to have to elaborate for me. My brain's shutting down. Anyway, the bottom line from the searcher's side, I think they believe that the investigators are still looking in the landfill or having, they're still looking into their options, and that they cling to hope that the baby can still be found, which is their understanding and their wish. And I agree with them. I hope that that is the case. Until law enforcement formally comes out saying that they did a landfill search, then I'll just have to keep treating it as, I hope that's what they're doing. Yeah, I don't think it's complete closure for me in the case until the baby's found. But I don't hold out hope that that's going to happen just based on, where they say the baby got thrown away at. So Kimberly says about Rebecca being hit in the head in her probable cause affidavit. I can email it to you. I would love that. In Kimberly's? You've been sleuthing that all this time? You're such a sweetheart. Oh, she's asking you a question, Abellis. What type of charge would you rather take? Uh, selling of the infant or a murder charge for the infant? Which would be, neither one of those are ideal, but if you had to choose one, which one would you choose, Abellis?
Wouldn't have been put on this case, and we would not have went out there if it wasn't for the internet and the people that were live and
Yes,
doing it.
very true.
I mean, I know it probably isn't the best way for things to happen, but in this case, it's the only thing that got
Yes.
anybody out there looking for Rebecca.
Anybody.
I
Yeah.
do understand that the cops looked across the street where the phone was, but that's not where Rebecca was found. So the internet and lives and TikTok, them people, they did put a big spotlight on this case.
Right. And honestly, me and my wife, we have 5 acres. We live in the woods. We don't bother nobody. We don't get in nobody's business. We try to just, mind our own. And something honestly pulled us out of these woods that we live in to go and do that.
The internet sleuths did put a big spotlight on this case, but Stephanie said there's a line between being helpful and actually taking precious time away from the investigation. She worries it could create problems for the prosecution.
If people keep giving out, going through and digging for specific information, they are going to make this case impossible to try in court. And it will not be the authorities' fault that if this case does not get tried and convicted. It will be all of the people out there that have just dug and dug and dug and made the authorities, the police and the FBI and the state troopers' lives just made their job so much harder.
So let's talk about that a little bit. And I'm going to give her the credit on some of the real risks, right? Hold on a second here. I told it. Oh, maybe that was you. Thank you, Sweet Pea. Let me go look here, see what we got. You know what, Sweet Pea? I did not have this. I did not have this. We just looked at everything that I had. I don't know why I didn't have this. What an amazing human being you are. Thank you for that. Thank you. I don't know why I didn't have this. What a dummy. What are the key things in the case and you're missing it? Hello? It is pretty devastating. It is pretty devastating. I appreciate you. Yeah, I don't think the baby made it through the trauma either. That's my opinion. Well, I mean, you got to think about it. If there's a probable cause affidavit for the 2 that are charged with homicide, there would have definitely been one for Kimberly, and there's definitely one for Richard Failer. And I'm going to guess that I don't have that one either. Otherwise, I would have read that. So I need to get a hold of one for Richard Failer as well. Thank you so much. You were so very sweet to get that to me. All right, give me one moment here. Okay, so before I move backwards to that, I want to talk about what Stephanie just said. So Stephanie says that if people keep digging for information, that they're going to make the case impossible to try in court. And so I want to debate that a little bit. So she was 38 weeks, sister. 38 weeks. I really appreciate you. You don't even know. You don't even know. I'm going to send you a pizza because you're so special. Thank you, love. So, in theory, I think she's partially right, but I think she's overstating it. And the reason I think so is just there's a couple of reasons, but one main thing that just comes to mind when I hear this, they tried this in Stephen Stern's in one of his hearings, one of his motions, to try to keep social media and other echoes of the media out of the courtroom. They didn't want it to be filmed. They didn't want the transcripts out. They wanted a gag order of sorts, saying that social media was going to be the end all be all for the reason that Stephen Stearns couldn't get a fair trial. Now, I don't buy that. There's several reasons. First of all, this little tiny drop, just my channel alone, I have some amazing people in this community, but I have a small community so far, right? I have 20 people that are watching, 21 people that are watching now, and I average anywhere between 20 and 50 people in a chat. And the last Rebecca Park video I did got 2K views. The interview that we're watching right now came from a much bigger channel with like 225,000. Anyway, it's a bigger channel, much bigger channel. They tried in a lot of cases. Yeah, they do try in a lot of cases. But we're a small little drop in the bucket. Like, we're YouTube, and then you've got Facebook, and then you've got Reddit. But we're still little drops in the bucket of the people that are local to that area or right outside of that area that wouldn't. Thank you, Hio to Hannah. We are small, but we are mighty. Yeah. They say that it's a boy. They say that it's a boy. Allegedly, they'd already picked out a name, but of course, we don't have. Obviously, we don't have the baby to let for us to know. But allegedly, and I don't know if they had a sonogram saying it was a boy. But anyway, my point is that we're small potatoes. So heavy coverage and speculation can possibly poison the local jury pool, make it easier for the defense to argue, you can't get a fair trial. They can file motions to change the venue, motions to say that the jury was exposed to prejudicial information. So most people treat this like a Netflix series instead of a real case, right? This is not Netflix. It's easier for a defense attorney to say, show me a juror in this county who hasn't already made up their mind or who knows nothing about the case. Think about Lori Vallow. She had how many trials, and they were able to get her fair and just, jurors to make decisions on her. So, and Southern Cat says, also the cops are only going to let out so much. Yep. That's very true. When witnesses watch TikToks and interviews and, go through the comment sections like we do and breakdowns, the witnesses' memories can shift, right? So if these two are considered witnesses, then they should stop digging and stop trying to change their narrative. Otherwise, they won't be. They'll be tainted. They'll be tainted. They'll be tainted. You're repeating what you saw online, not what you saw that day. That's an easy defense, right? You're repeating what you saw online. Isn't that true? Not what you saw that day. Isn't that true? If every potential witness is binge watching breakdowns on TikTok, you get a big question mark. Like, are they remembering the event or are they remembering the content that they heard? If people start spreading actual discovery materials that aren't meant to be in public, that's different. And I say that with awareness that these two possibly, from what I heard on the video, might have identifying information about the scene or graphic crime scene photos, which can scare a lot of people off or create pressure on the court to clamp down and make that gag order, right? So yeah, it's reckless digging and leaking of things can make a prosecutor's life harder. But people digging for information could slightly be an exaggeration. Big serial cases, school shootings, celebrity murders, all of them have voir dire. And that's where you question all the jurors about what they've seen. And they have gag orders in these bigger trials, jury instructions, decide only on evidence in court. Or then they have the sequestration in extreme cases if they had to have it. It's hard to try. Hard to try is not the same as impossible, you know what I mean? In my opinion. Courts have been dealing with high-profile media cases for decades, so. If you're doing a FOIA or they have press releases and you have hearings, stuff like that on YouTube. It's transparency, and that's how it works. For me, it was the fact that the only part of the story Courtney and Brad both corroborate is the baby going into a blue cooler and being disposed. Yeah. That's about the only thing they fucking agreed on, right? It's disgusting. But, you know, when Stephanie says if people keep digging, it makes the case impossible to try, is what I'm hearing is a mom in panic mode about the internet turning her daughter's case into a circus. That's what I hear. I hear protect her in a way that you couldn't protect her in life. From her vantage point, every TikTok that she sees, every Facebook post, every creator chasing, the story, she feels like it's pushing the fair trial further away. Yeah, that's possible. But they just, I don't know. It just depends on how much they're going to actually need them for the trial. The reality is not everyone follows true crime on social media or news. Agreed. I mean, legally, I don't think this case is impossible to try. Judges have tools. It is what it is. I do agree that how people dig matters. If it turns into like harassing the family and, conspiracy hunting instead of like we're doing as much document-based coverage as we can do, then yeah, that's totally different. That's totally different. Do I think people pulling records and trying to understand a case is going to make it impossible to try? Hell no. And no courts try cases with way more publicity than this. Right? No courts do that. Of course they do. All the courts have a lot more publicity than this particular case. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of cases out there. I mean, I just saw the end of Megan Thee Stallion and her case, and the Cardi B just had a huge case. I mean, she's a huge star, and I bet I will venture to guess that 50% of my chat don't even know about the Cardi B case, and the other 50% know that there's a case but don't know what it's about. And there might be the 5 or 6% in here that do know or did follow. And some of you are true crime creators. Do I think reckless digging, doxing, and TikTok drama can hurt? Sure. If it gives ammunition to argue jury bias, if that's what we want to call it, or witness contamination. But no, I don't think so. She's grieving. Absolutely. She's concerned. The narrative is out of her hands, and that scares her. I agree with you 100%. She's just a mom. I get where she's coming from emotionally, but the answer is really not, stop looking or stop doing this or stop doing that and turning everything into a private session. This is transparency, and we live in a place where transparency is needed. Exactly. We'll have to talk about it. It was actually pretty good. Okay. And it was very good. She had different hair every day of the week, and she had as much attitude as attitude could have. It was greatness. All right, let me stop the screen for a second and let me bring up what was given to me. And this is I'm so fabulously happy right now with this, and I am so grateful. So again, thank you very much. Good evening. I'm so glad you're here, case one, number 5. So this is something that I didn't have and something that I didn't read. This is the affidavit of probable cause for Kimberly Sue. So this is 3 pages long. And what I'm going to do when I get off of here is I'm going to read this. I'm going to put that out on the channel as a read through. And I'm super excited to do that. So allegedly, from what I was told, let's see if we can find that. We'll have to look and see. We'll have to scan through here. I'd like to know where it is that she said that they were. I've got to recognize this as a document first. Let's do that. I'll have to convert it into words. Is it recognizing it? Okay. You finally changed your name, and now people know who you are again. Looking here, kind of skimming through. Okay. Might be right here. Yep, there it is. There it is right there. Okay. Lieutenant Fisker interviewed Kimberly Park on the same date. Okay, on Saturday, November 22nd, 2025, Kimberly Park made statements on a social media live broadcast that she was aware of the information that Courtney Bartholomew and her husband, Brad Bartholomew, had something to do with Rebecca Park's disappearance. Lieutenant Fisker interviewed Kimberly Park on the same date, and she reported that Courtney and Brad had struck Rebecca Park in the head to cause her to have a seizure. And when they were unable to revive Park from the seizure, Brad contacted a friend who came and picked up Rebecca Park's body and took it away. Park said that Brad had said something about a swamp. During another interview with Kimberly Park on Monday, Park told Sergeant Alicia Baxter that she was and has been in a romantic relationship with Richard Failer. K-Swan and the Elf Hut, what? So yeah, I'm going to put that out and put that on the Patreon if you guys want to go through it as well. So there's that. Interesting as hell. There is so much space in between and lines in between here. Crazy. Hey, Swan, did you see the Elfies? Let me move my fat head out of the way. Look at him, Elfies. Kelly, how are you? You got your birthday hat on. I saw you a little while earlier, but I didn't get to say hi fully. I really appreciate you being here. Thanks for coming by and seeing us. Hi, Kelly. K-Swan, Maria says hello. So I think I've kind of settled on I like mac and cheese. And mac is on the right and cheese is on the left. Because look at that cheese and smile in that eye. Mac and cheese. I think Bella's called them Elfie and Elfo. I don't know. Hey, everyone coming in. I cannot multitask tonight. Everyone coming in. I'm going to give you the PSA.
This is a fucking commentary, critique, and opinion channel, motherfuckers. That means on this channel, I comment, critique, and give my opinion on what other motherfuckers are doing on YouTube. What part of that do some of you dumbass motherfuckers not get?
Oh, my goodness. She's amazing. All right. Let's get through this. We've got about 5 more minutes of this. Kelly, it was so nice to see you. Thank you for coming by. K-Swan, always a pleasure.
You got to find that baby. Or
Yeah,
we
that
have
baby
to, we need
needs
to
to
know
be
what
found.
happened to that baby, right?
Right. And if they don't find that baby, and it takes me and Courtney to have to go sneak in that garbage dump to go look for that baby because they ain't doing due diligence, I'm going to be real more upset.
Interesting. You can't sneak in no, that ain't going to happen. So just calm down. I know you're emotional. That's not going to happen, though.
I don't blame you. And, you know, after what you've already had to go through in order to find Rebecca, you have every right to be asking those questions of what happened to that baby,
Right.
as does the community. And you're right. We have to give a lot of credit to the people that really shine a spotlight on cases like this and say, we got to get out there and we got to find Rebecca. We got to find the baby. We got to
Right.
find out what happened.
Yeah.
Because this is not okay. So for my timeline to understand, you were out there finding her, and you're saying that there's, in your mind, no way that she was left there on November 3rd, and then you're finding her on November 25th. Is that what you're saying? Is that like
no
that
way.
timeline doesn't work
There's no
for you?
way. There's no way. There wasn't a leaf, there wasn't nothing moved. And when you pulled, well, like, you know how when you have something heavy and you pull it and it shows black dirt?
Yeah.
Well, that's what it was. It was somebody literally got out of their car off this nicely sandy 2-track, people would call it, that they drive down, hunters do. Literally right there. Like, you could just be in your truck and just look out your window like that and you would have seen her. And you would have saw the black drag marks right up to her because it moved all the pretty leaves.
I'm so sorry. That is very concerning. Have you been able to talk to investigators about this part of it?
We were told to stay on the 2-track after we got out of the woods, the 2-track that they found the phone on.
Well, you were told to go over to the church and wait factually, and you did not do that. Just, we saw you, girl. Tell the truth. We was there. I mean, we was there in we saw you, okay. You did not go to the church like they asked you to do.
And a detective was going to come to us. He never did come to us. So finally it got late and the roads were horrible and it was time we had to go, you know. And so we just went up to the first police officer that we see, and which happened to be the detective. And so he said, "Can you get in my car right now and I interview you or talk to you right now?" And he did for about 4 or 5 minutes, and that's it. And they brought.
What do you guys think of that? So did they not find what they pause game is on point right there? Did they not find what these girls had to say important? Do you think it was only 4 minutes? I don't know. They might have a little issue with time because sometimes they'd be saying, well, it might have been, you know, a little bit less or a little bit more. But anyway, I think there's a few possibilities, right? The 4 minutes might be like a formal little, you know, recorded portion, not what they have them come in and, I don't know. I mean, they were talking to them at the scene. They're not going to have a back and forth for a long time. I don't know. I spoke with so-and-so and confirmed XYZ, and that was probably all they had to tell him. I don't know. It doesn't tell you how long the chit-chat turned out, you know, outside of the tape recorder. Maybe if they even recorded it. He said, "Can you get into my car?" So he's recording it. I mean, they're not crime scene witnesses. They're discovery witnesses, right? They found her. They didn't see the killing. Where were you? Who were you with? What did you see, touch, or move? Who did you call? Once those boxes are checked, I think they can pretty much move on, right? Just saying. They were told to move their ass down to the church. They didn't. We saw them. Apparently, and the girl, even Jackie or Jackass or whoever that is, whoever was recording, said, apparently we're not going to do what the detective tells us to do, and we're just going to back up here more into the woods instead of going and moving to the church. You ain't got to lie, girls. We know. We saw you. Yeah, they was stubborn. They sure was. That's what they said, that there was only a small amount of decomp. So they already have their case theory right from the other sources at this point. They may not interview him again, or it may be very low. It may be one of those like Sarah Boone, neighbors heard her drag something down the stairs, and it's assumed that it was, you know, Jorge or George Torres in the suitcase, but they really didn't see anything type of thing. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to contaminate the witness. Good investigators don't feed details. They don't sit and narrate the whole story to somebody. They just have short, focused questions that reduce the chances of them saying later, I remember because the detective told me, right? That's all right, girl. She looks high as fuck. She says, pardon me, ma'am. No disrespect. No disrespect taken. A civilian who found the body is important, but I don't think it's the main well of information that they're looking for. Just my opinion. But, you know, detective, you spoke to these people for only a couple of minutes. Why didn't you ask about ABC? You didn't test, you know, them for anything. Did you rush this? I guess that could be somebody that says on the, you know, cross or, you know, as a defense. Or witnesses, you were only interviewed for 4 minutes about the worst day of your whole life, and nobody really dug into your recollection, did they? You know, sloppy investigation type thing. They could undermine the detail of the searcher's accounts. I don't know. There's a lot of ways you could go about that. From what we've been told, the detective only did a 4-minute formal interview with the two searchers. So on its face, it sounds kind of short for what the whole case is. Changing the name is complicated. La Maestra Maria. La Maestra Maria. Muchas Marias. Yeah. They did in the probable cause affidavit, Southern Cats. Okay. Let me see if I can search the probable cause affidavit and see what they said. Maria, back in the elf hunt, it wasn't a job interview for amateur. Yeah. Stop, Cindy. Stop. Well, duh. Sarah Goof kicked. Yeah, she probably did. She probably did. Thank you, Avelis. I'm looking here. See if I can't run through what the approximate timeline was. Cindy Lou, you always making people laugh. So there's no precise public time of death, right? They have it narrowed down. The charging documents and the press release treat the homicide as happening on or about November the 3rd, 2025. The night she was last seen and allegedly lured to Courtney and Brad's, but the probable cause affidavit ties the killing to the period after she leaves the house in the vehicle with them and before her phone goes dark and stops moving in the area where they said the attack happened. So her body's not found, though, until November 25th. And she's been exposed in the woods, which means the medical examiner is probably having to deal with some amount of decomposition. So we'll probably, if we, you know, eventually we'll get the clear statement about the cause and the manner of death. But, you know, there's no time like, oh, she died at 10:17 p.m. or anything. So they're going to narrow it down, though. Good night. Always happy to hear your voice, too. Well, I will be when I hear your voice. And it's nice to see you, Maria. Duérmete bien. Abraza al niño. Dale un beso a mi parte. Yeah, we're just about done here ourselves. We got a couple more minutes.
Got my phone back to me 2 days later.
Wait,
Or not my phone, I'm sorry.
which happened to be the detective.
Which happened to be the detective. And so he said, can you get in my car right now and I interview you or talk to you right now? And he did for about 4 or 5 minutes, and that's it. And they brought my phone back to me 2 days later.
Wait,
Or not my phone, I'm sorry, my ID.
Your ID.
Yeah,
Why was your
because-
ID? You
Yes,
forgot it?
because when they got to us at why we were hovering over the body, protecting it, they wanted our IDs just, I guess, check and see who we were. But I'm fine with that. I gave my ID up,
I didn't
and
have mine on
she
me.
didn't have hers on her.
Okay. Got it. All right. So that was the only time you ever talked to detectives, was in that 4 or 5 minute interview right after you found the body in the back of a car. It's snowing. You got to get home, but no follow up with you about the fact
No.
that body did not seem to have been there for very long.
No, I'm telling you, that body wasn't there very long. That body was not there very long. I'm not no detective, but I can clearly tell you, I sat on the curb, dirt curb, staring at everything, like the drag marks. And before the cops got there, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, no, man, I live in the woods. I know what happens when you drag on leaves or pine needles, something heavy. And in my opinion, she just got put there, and
That's just an opinion.
that's just our
We don't wanna
opinion.
put false information out.
But that's what it looked like.
Listen, it's so important.
You see that little bit of body language right there from the wife in the back? She's like, we ain't put no bad information out. Yeah, if you guys want to find me on all the platforms, there's the link tree. I haven't done a whole lot on the Instagrams, but I do post often on X. But you can find me on all the platforms. Watch her little eye roll.
Just got put there, and
That's just an opinion.
that's just our
We don't wanna
opinion.
put false information out.
But that's what it looked like.
Listen,
She's like, hey, girl, watch it. Watch your mouth. You're getting a little loose lipped. And then now she's got her pursed lips here like, shit, hope we're not going to be in trouble for this.
it's so important to be able to hear people as you need to be listened to. So I'm listening. I hope everybody else is, and we're certainly we're gonna keep on investigating this. And I'd love to stay in touch with you ladies. You're just wonderful people, and thank you for going out there to find Rebecca. And we'll keep on looking for answers.
And the baby.
I've reached out to the Michigan Attorney General's office because I still have a lot of questions about this investigation. I wanted to know if Rebecca's body had possibly been moved by the suspects or even dragged. What was that chalky substance they found in her stomach during the autopsy? I wanted to know if she had clothes on when they found her, and what the status of the investigation is into her missing baby right now. And are police still looking for Rebecca's baby? In an email, they wrote back and said it's an active and open investigation, and they cannot give us any more details at this time.
So there's a really good indication for anything that me or anybody else in the case want to find. So that's good. We know that, right? This remains an active and ongoing investigation. I'm unable to provide further update at this time. To your first question, I would simply articulate that Courtney and Bradley Bartholomew are each charged with 7 felonies and 1 misdemeanor count of removal of a dead body. Further information concerning details of this case and the alleged criminal conduct will be available as additional evidence is introduced and exhibited before the court. You have to read between the lines there, right? And read between the lines of the probable cause affidavit, removal of a dead body. It's obvious that they moved her. It's very obvious if we read in between the lines.
But to my first question, they said, we simply articulate that Courtney and Bradley Bartholomew are each charged with 7 felonies and 1 misdemeanor count of removal of the body. The AG's office went on to say, further information concerning details of this case and the alleged criminal conduct will be available as additional evidence is introduced and exhibited before the court.
So there we go. Anybody who hasn't, please make sure you click that link at the very top there and go give a like to this video and sub up to Criminally Obsessed. They're a much bigger channel than me. They have amazing coverage and they get it out quick. So the last thing I want to talk about before I leave this evening is what we call, or what has been called, the good old boy system. So it's not a legal term, it's a label, right? And people use it when they feel that the local, how would you say it, power structure maybe protects its own and fails everyone else. We're getting a really good form of what's alleged to be a good old boy system in the Steins case with the judge in Kentucky, that allegedly, the girls were being trafficked to the judge in order to get out of charges, et cetera, that type of thing. So you think of it as like an informal network of people, law enforcement, the courts, politics, local businesses, kind of things, who look out for each other and they smooth things over for their own. And then they kind of block accountability when it would usually land on somebody that's inside of their circle. Does that make sense? It's about your area. So if we plug it into the Rebecca Park case, right now we don't have anything that indicates this. Just kind of throwing a theory out here, okay? Who you know matters more than what you did. We call that nepotism when I work in like a place where I work for dad and dad lets me do whatever I want to do in the shop while everybody else gets treated like shit, kind of thing. Friends, relatives, church buddies, hunting buddies, old classmates that get softer treatment because they got the connections. You know what I mean? The same conduct goes along with I don't want to be shitty. It's like selective enforcement, more or less. You get hammered when you're an outsider or someone without any power. Minimized, handled quietly when it's one of the good old boys of the family. Sheriff's office, prosecutors, judges, social services, they all know each other. They work together for years. They don't like outsiders questioning them, that kind of thing. And then they get kind of hostile to Abellis. They work, girl, give me trouble. Oh my goodness. But like locals or feds, they push too hard to get treated. They get troublemakers in trouble. You know what I mean? Whistleblowers in trouble. So they get hostile whenever you push from the outside. Families and advocates are told to stop stirring the pot or quote unquote, let us do our job kind of thing. That makes sense. That's a system where, people are pointing at, even if they can't prove criminal corruption, it's kind of a thing, We saw the same type of thing happen in the Madeline Soto case. We saw a whole ring go down with Marcos Lopez, who was the sheriff at the time, and his whole gambling ring. And many of the people, the people that were with him, were getting taken down were people of stature in the community, other prosecutors and judges and wives of judges and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it is a thing. Backdoor dealers for sure. Like the football team never gets in trouble, but everyone else does. Yeah, you're onto something there, Icha. Yeah, I've said for years, it's not what you know, it's who you know that makes things happen or go away. Very, very. You wish Santa was your daddy? Daddy Santa. Yeah, lots of nepotism. Lots of nepotism around now. Abellis. So in this case, I don't know. Let's just put into theory. Just we're big air quotes from the beginning to the end, okay? In this case, you've got a small community. It overlaps. The relationships in the community overlap. There's a long history of different agencies that touch this family in one way or another. Through the criminal courts, definitely through the family courts, the child welfare, and now we have a homicide, right? And people hear about the biofather who was on the sex offender registry decades ago. Everybody that's around them are alleged RSOs. Years of chaos that are all around the adults. You're a missing nearly full-term pregnant woman, and then they see how long it took before a body was found, and then, arrests happen quickly, but it's natural for the locals to start whispering, something about a good old boy system when they feel like the warning signs are getting ignored. I mean, this family has had a long history of getting away with shit for way too long. Way too freaking long. My God, Jessica. Even in the small towns, there's so much nepotism. Ain't getting a good job without working for family or friends. Not anymore. Even in your small town, you mean? Yeah, not anymore. Not anymore. From the outside, it looks like, how did this many red flags stack up over the years without some type of intervention from somebody? Like, who's Who's being protected here? Who's being believed? Because these children in these cases are not being believed and they're not being protected. That's a good old boy question. You know what I mean? I don't have evidence that anyone in law enforcement or the courts conspired to protect these defendants in any way whatsoever or anybody around them. But what I do see is a small town system where the same people and the same players are dealing with the same family for years. And a lot of people could feel like the culture is exactly what let Rebecca fall through the fucking cracks. That's my opinion. How many times did kids in their orbit show up in the system before CPS or the adoptive mom took them? Did the system actually protect the most vulnerable, or does it just keep recycling people? You know what I mean? Why do we get such a detailed press release and an affidavit on their Bartholomew's, but almost nothing on Richard Failer? And what about the prior things that have happened that might have flagged them to be a family to watch out for before it turns into a homicide? Were these registered RSOs in the system? Did everybody know where the hell they were? I have an app on my phone that shows when there's a predator 800 feet from my house. Indeed, Judge, every town has it. I agree. This case gives me kind of a cultish type vibe. Well, Courtney Brad and all the RSOs and the drugs, yeah. It absolutely is. Demographics play a big role. I agree with you 100%. Small Michigan County, there are only so many deputies, so many prosecutors, so many judges. They go to the same churches, the same schools, the same bars. It doesn't automatically mean corruption, but it absolutely creates a we take care of our own culture, right? In my opinion. Long-term patterns where people that are vulnerable are not getting protected. That's what I see. Obviously, I'm not going to accuse any individuals without, some type of evidence, and I would never do that. But when people say good old boy system, in this particular case, I don't think that they would be talking about some secret Illuminati. But I do think that it could be talking about a small town power structure where the cops, prosecutors, judges, agencies have been around this family for years, and somehow the most vulnerable people, the babies and the children, keep ending up unprotected. And even through an adoptive mother trying to do her best to take care of these children, they still end up dead by the biological mother. She did what she could. I'm not placing blame on anybody. It just feels like the adults with the worst behavior are allowed to keep orbiting these people, these children, or these young adults without any serious consequences. Why do we keep patting them on the back and send them on their way? I'm not going to sit here and tell you I have proof. I don't. But decades of bad behavior and all of the shit that's going on around us doesn't change anything. There's a 38-week pregnant woman found dead in the woods. It's completely rational for people to question whether the good old boy system culture had anything to do with it or not. It's just a concept. It's just a concept. It's just my opinion. I'm going to leave you guys with that. I really, really appreciate everybody. Excuse me, let me cough after I'm doing all that bitching, misbehaving, putting all that bad juju out at the end, and that's what happens. Oh, let me go back over here and say thank you. Tonight we had Cindy from sunny South Florida, gifted 5 True Crime Guardian memberships. Hannah UK gifted 10 True Crime Guardian memberships. Abellis gifted 20 True Crime Guardian memberships. And Maria was a member for 5 months. I really appreciate all of you guys and everything that you do that not only helps the channel, but helps out the community. You guys are great. Thank you. Thank you, Abellis, for everything that you do. Allegedly Speculating, I know that you streamed for several hours today. I'm absolutely grateful that you were here to talk with us tonight. We covered a lot of ground, right? The searcher's perspective, all of Stephanie's words. We were actually introduced to the adoptive mom. We still have questions around the landfill and the whole good old boy system, if there is one. I'm going to keep bringing that up. I feel like this is a brutal case. It's not just about the court paperwork. I'm sure we'll dig deeper into that. There are real people who have to live with this and still trying to crawl out of it every day. We met Patricia tonight, who's a cousin of the biological father and his son, who's having a really hard time adjusting to this. You guys keep them in your thoughts. The fact that so many people have stayed with me through all of this, and you guys ask the smartest fucking questions, and you actually make me think, you make me think. So, take care of yourselves after the lives. Go decompress, hydrate, step away from the case for a little bit, whatever you need to do to keep coming back day after day. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you guys a whole bunch. I'm going to put up our song from the Guardians of Firelyte, and thank you for everything you do, and thanks for hanging with Hio.
We found the flame in the silence when the world forgot our names. Whispers turned to promise. In the dark we stayed the same. Ashes carried stories, falling stars and sleepless nights. Every scar became our glory, every shadow fed the light. We are the ones who guard the fire, through the smoke and through the fight, bound by truth, by heart, by wire. We keep the echoes burning bright. No crown, no fame, no higher name, just sparks that cut the endless night. We are the guardians of firelight. Broken glass and faded letters. Truth is heavy but it sings. In the quiet we are tethered by the warmth that justice brings. We don't bow to false horizons. We don't fade when others hide. We are born from fallen icons. We are flames that never die. If the light should fade away, we'll breathe it back, we'll make it stay. Every tear's a spark in gray. We guard the light, guard the flame. We are the ones who guard the fire, through the smoke and through the fight, bound by truth, by heart, by wire. We keep the echoes burning bright. No crown, no fame, no higher name, just sparks that cut the endless night. We are the guardians of firelight. We are the guardians of firelight.